option for the plugin. So it says Facebook Live comments on the chat tab right now. It should be authorized already. You already have your account set up for Facebook live stream. If not, you can also, of course, click this button here. It will take you through the process of logging into your Facebook account. That's pretty easy to do. And now back down to the source. This means basically once you go live on Facebook and your stream is actually pushed live, what you can see you, this plugin will automatically connect with chat, thus bringing integrated chat right into your system. Of course, if it doesn't, you can always click on refresh right here. Once in a while, it may glitch or have a little bit of a bug, so come there and click refresh, and it will refresh the plugin for you. Hopefully update the chat for your stream. Back, get this menu back for you guys. Okay, so we also have a little option down here. We have some coloring options for the chat box itself. A little down arrow here, showing all the color options here for the chat room. Again, you can kind of customize this for your color scheme, depending upon what you're doing for your stream. Choose maybe a good background color that will have the text and messages showing as well, so black and video. This stream here. You can also make the box more transparent. One more hit use of it as well. Scale here, slide up the scale to number. There we go. And we also have viewers. It can also be customized for your names. You have your name show up with colors from yellow, anything black, whatever you want to be. With the background black, so let's choose white for that. And also down here in the message colors as well. That way it kind of makes it very distinct. Also options to change fonts here too, which is simple. A bunch of fonts here. You can mix and match whatever you want to do here for the fonts. Also text size, you can change this here by using the arrows down and up. Change the size to be larger or of course smaller for the chat room. Pretty simple. And then text direction as well. You can have the Facebook chat messages flow from top to bottom or bottom to top, depending on what selection you choose right here. Pretty simple. Click on preview and actually give yourself a preview of some messages here, which is good. Though we can kind of test that out a little bit. So we have the stream test. So there we go, black background looks really good. And then people's names will be white and text is yellow, so it pops up really nice. Those adjust. Font again here. Small or larger. Make sure it's pretty readable before you just live stream. So don't go too big or too small. Alright. Also choose the height of your icons or avatars. That's very helpful. Also hide timestamps on the messages. Moves up a little more. You can also hide the chat too. So when it's idle, number of seconds, then try to watch it hide on the screen. My post message will come back up on the screen. You can choose seconds here from 30, whatever you want, hide it to the chat room. You can also hide connection messages. Pretty much these are the error messages here that are connected correctly. You can choose to hide those if you want to. That will not have to give you any errors on the screen. So that's pretty much it here, guys. A pretty easy way to integrate Facebook Live chat. Again, you can make this chat box full screen or smaller, whatever you want to do for your live stream. It's really up to you. Customize the coloring here, the fonts as well, and make it yours. So again, these are Facebook Live comments. They're really cool Facebook Live chat for your live streams. And we'll do one more test for you today. So I always like doing things, kind of previewing things, also doing a test live stream. So we did it for you guys here today. Go to broadcast, click on live. Privacy, of course, only me. I don't only I can live stream. Also broadcast. All right, so we are now live stream. My Facebook Live is doing a test live stream. Only viewable on phone. And I'll send a few messages in chat live stream. We're going to go into the live next week. All right, so we are actually live right now. There it is. A little lock, which means it is, of course, only viewable by me. I'm going to go into the comment section here. Chat, of course. Type in test live stream. Of course, the mic's also picking it up as I talk. Is my audio on the phone? Cool. Turn it on mute. So there's our message, guys. Test live stream. Hello, hello. So this is one more way of testing out how it looks on the stream, giving you more of an actual feel, because this is an actual live stream, viewable live stream first. That way you can kind of adjust colors again, sizing, transparency as well. Whatever you want to do for Facebook Live comments or Facebook Live chat, in your live stream, it's broadcast. Hope you guys found this very useful. And there are also this episode of Patriots Show. See up the Facebook Live comments and chat. Hopefully it helped out a little bit. Let me know in the comments below. You should hit that like button as well as subscribe. I'm Ray. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Getty Show. I'm your host Ray, where we do tips, tricks, and tutorials live stream. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to easily add a webcam border to your overlay in XSplit Broadcaster. Stay tuned. In today's tutorial video, I'm going to show you a very simple solution. Only takes a few minutes to actually create to make a little border around your webcam, making it look more professional and more clean as well. Now we'll be using XSplit Broadcaster. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to show you how to do all of the fancy overlay graphics like you see here. We'll probably do a future video on this because these have to actually be created and then imported into XSplit. But I want to show you a very simple solution for your webcam right now. Okay, so here we are in XSplit Broadcaster. Now I already have a capture set up here in the background, so whether you're doing a tutorial video, teaching something, live streaming a game, recording a game, whatever your content is in the background, we have that source already included. The next thing you want to do is go to Add Source down here, and go to Devices, Video, and
Fuck. Ow. Tom. Yeah, I tried to call you. So yeah, and we have some breaking news leading up to the show. I don't know if you got it or not. No. This one, not that. But this is related to the Sabres. And the news about the Sabres is they're expected to hire Dan Girardi in a player development role. Yeah, so Dan Girardi is going to have some sort of impact in the player development department. Oh yeah, that's true. Well, there's a lot to cover, and we also got to talk about the Panthers with Dwayne Haskins. So there's a lot to uncover today. That's for sure. Did you see my new shirt that I got today from my brother for as a late Christmas present? There it is. More jobs, no jobs, blow jobs. Yeah. There's fuckface. Hey, fuckface.
Yo,
Hey, what's up? Excellente. But I also think we should probably change the name of the YouTube channel to just Buffalo After Dark. I also think we should give access to Adam, so if he wants to make videos on the channel, he's more than welcome to do so. Yeah. So Adam,
yeah.
did you see the news about the Sabres just now?
What? They're gonna miss the playoffs again?
No, they hired Dan Girardi for the player development role.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, so Dan Girardi is going to have an executive role with the Sabres.
Oh God, never seen that guy have an executive anything, but sure.
I mean, some players do great as executives, and I'm pretty sure Dan Girardi would be a good executive.
Everybody has their own opinion. I think he'd be a good towel boy, but
It is what it is.
why do I see a weird like backsplash for you, Tom, every time you talk? Yeah, I can't. Oh, there you are. Okay, I was gonna say, but where are you? Oh,
quarterback for a team. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but like he could definitely develop to a point where if you put a decent enough team around him, you're going to win games.
Yeah, we need like a Zach Wilson. We don't need a Justin Fields. We need a Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
like when's the last time an Ohio State quarterback worked out in the NFL? They're either wide receivers or they're out and they're like look at for the Bills, EJ Manuel and Cardale Jones, both from Ohio State. They're both not in the league anymore, and they're out there doing TV.
True.
They're either wide receivers or they're out of the league.
Yeah.
Did you say EJ Manuel?
Yeah, he retired.
Oh, he went to Florida State, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Florida. We're talking about Ohio State.
Oh, my bad.
I thought Manuel went to Ohio. But never mind. But Cardale Jones was Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he did pretty good in the XFL until the season just ended abruptly.
Yeah, I'm looking at a list of quarterbacks now who all played for Ohio State. One being is Justin Fields, who hasn't even been drafted yet. Yeah.
Pryor's a wide receiver.
Troy Smith didn't pan out.
No.
JT Barrett didn't pan out. He played for the Saints. Braxton Miller, of course, Dwayne Haskins. And then you have Terrell Pryor, which was interesting because Terrell Pryor was a wide receiver at Ohio State and then went into the NFL as a quarterback. Oh, no. He was a quarterback at OSU and then played as a wide receiver in the NFL. I got it twisted. So
he came in
taken seriously.
He did play QB for a bit in the NFL, but after he was released, he ended up switching over to wide receiver. He's just been bouncing around the league playing journeyman wide receiver, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Craig Krenzel, Arch Slister, Joe Germain, Cardale Jones, Mike Tomczak, Bobby Hoying, Cornelius Green, Kenny Guyton, Ken Herbstreit, Tom Tupa, Tom Mate, Jim Carastos, and just the list just goes on and on and on and on. And then you have fucking there's a whole list of players that all played for OSU and that just have not panned out in this level.
They're just Ohio State quarterbacks are just not good at an NFL level. Is it maybe a development thing? Obviously they're good enough that Ohio State is, getting into championships and they're winning games. So obviously it's like Ohio State isn't bad, but is it a development issue on Ohio State's end? Like, do they they clearly the Ohio State talent level does not translate well over, or maybe it's a culture thing. I don't know what it is, but clearly Ohio State quarterbacks do not translate well.
You don't prepare them enough. You don't prepare them enough from leaving college ball to play in the big leagues. That's their problem.
Yeah. And that's why I fear that if the Panthers take Justin Fields at number 9, if he falls that march down, because the Jets, you have to keep in consideration, the Jets are also probably going to end up getting rid of Sam Darnold, so they could get rid of him and then take Fields, and that'll save everybody some huge amount of time. And then the Panthers could be left with Zach Wilson. They could be left with Mac Jones. They could be left with anybody else because everybody at this point knows that Trevor Lawrence is going to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and here's the thing too to think about. You might not even be looking at drafting a quarterback. There are a lot of quarterbacks that are in the league right now who are potentially going to end up leaving the team that they're on, and they've proved themselves this year. And I mean, I'm not talking obviously like QB1s. I'm talking like Marcus Mariota coming off the bench and having an absolute electric game, probably going to go get a starting job somewhere else. Like, you have so many quarterbacks that ended up having to fill in for guys that got injured or were out with COVID or something like that, that proved that they can be a quarterback somewhere else that might end up going. I mean, you're even talking about Dak Prescott possibly not even going back to Dallas. He's been linked to the Washington football team through a couple of reports. So, like, we thought last year was fun with quarterback free agency and the whole Tom Brady thing. This year might be even better.
Right.
Well, I haven't heard anything about Dak, but I've heard the Jets were linked to Dak for a little while.
Yeah, I do know that he's interested in potentially looking outside of the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't blame him. But like looking outside of the Dallas Cowboys organization, I didn't see anything about the Jets. I am interested in seeing that because what are the chances that if you're at 2, you're not getting Trevor Lawrence? What are the chances that you just either take somebody else that's a non-QB or even trade down a couple of picks to get another position? But yeah, no, I had a couple of things that connected him to the Washington football team. Because obviously Alex Smith is not a long-term solution. I mean, the man is out again with another injury.
Yeah, calf injury.
Yeah. Luckily not the one that was literally chopped off of his body.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn near chopped off his body. Luckily not that one. But, I mean, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I think Marcus Mariota is definitely going to end up somewhere else, but who knows? Marcus Mariota could end up in Carolina. You know who's not leaving? Kirk Cousins, because they gave him like $81 million guaranteed. And
why the hell did they give him that much money?
Because the Minnesota Vikings cannot effectively run an organization. That appears to be the problem. And then they gave him an extension. So
I mean, it's bad enough they already traded Stephon Diggs, so they already look like assholes already trading him because it's like, oh, we want to run the ball more often. And yet you have a number 1 wide receiver in your grasp. Fucking use him. And then you're just like, oh, the Vikings are a playoff team. They go all the way to the NFC Championship game or whatever it was. And then the next thing you know, boom, there goes the Vikings. You make it to the second round. You get your ass kicked by the 49ers. And Stephon Diggs is still unhappy. And he's like, oh, dear, where do I go now? And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to a different place on Twitter on the day he got traded to Buffalo. And it's just like,
and then the Vikings get mathematically eliminated at 6-9 the following season. Which, hey, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Justin Jefferson is a good wide receiver. Don't get like both sides of the trade won out. He's not a bad wide receiver. The problem is you have a head coach in there that just wants to run Dalvin Cook into the ground, thinking that he's Derrick Henry, and he's not. And Diggs said throw the ball instead of running it. They said no. He ends up coming to Buffalo, proving him right and Minnesota wrong. And then there is even video of Justin Jefferson yelling at Kirk Cousins a couple of weeks ago to throw him the ball. So they're just not a well-run team. But yeah, so that sums up the quarterback conversation that you might even be looking at free agent quarterbacks or guys on other teams.
Yeah, very true. And actually, we have some more breaking news just coming out of Kansas City. So basically, Pat Mahomes is out for Week 17. So what's going to happen is they're actually going to rest him up. But Chad Henne is actually going to get the start against the Chargers, and that'll be his 54th career start in the league, and that's after him being in the QB position for 13 seasons.
Man, Chad Henne.
good for him, I guess. But we'll find out how it goes.
I don't have any opinion on the Chiefs. They can go fuck their head.
I mean,
hey,
Pat Mahomes, not as good as Josh Allen through the last 4 weeks.
Yeah,
we all agree.
Weeks.
Not as good through the last 4 weeks.
Well, I mean, look at the stats.
Guys...
I've seen the stats where he compared them like side by side for pass completion percentage.
I got you. Did we already do that, or am I doing that right now?
No, do it.
Go for it.
All right. Completion percentage. Pat Mahomes, 60%. Josh Allen, 69.8%. This is through the last 4 weeks, remember? All right? So, and I mean, relevancy in the NFL is like within the last 3 to 4 weeks. So this is good. Touchdown to interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 8-4. Josh Allen, 12-1.
Fuck.
Passing yards per game. Patrick Mahomes, 310.8. Josh Allen, 323. Passer rating, Patrick Mahomes, 89.5. Josh Allen, 116.7.
Oh man.
Fuck. Yeah.
Wow.
Through literally the last 4 games, 3 to 4 games, which are the most relevant games to a player right now. That is, Josh Allen is the MVP, and that's no offense to Rodgers, because Rodgers has obviously had one of the best seasons of his career. He's going to end up going on and playing, whether in Green Bay or somewhere else, potentially getting another MVP somewhere down the line. I mean, the man's a force of nature. But that being said, I did make the argument, which will be put to the test this week, I did make the argument a couple of weeks ago that Patrick Mahomes should not be the MVP.
You're a fucking slouch, all right? Mahomes should win the goddamn thing.
Shut up.
Yeah,
It
you shut
should
up.
not be the MVP.
He's going to
based
win
on based on the talent that he has around him. So that'll be put to the test this week. Can Chad Henne win out with the talent that is around him? Now that's if they don't sit the rest of the talent, obviously. But I mean they're pretty deep.
Wait a minute.
I'm
You're going to
feeling they
compare.
will.
Yeah. Well, hold on. You're going to compare the MVP conversation with Mahomes based off of Chad Henne's performance against the Chargers? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying okay. So I gave what I thought was a very well thought out argument for why Patrick Mahomes shouldn't be considered for the MVP because he has all of this talent around him. And then the conversation turned to would another quarterback, say you put a Dwayne Haskins in there, or in this case, a Chad Henne, do they still win with the same talent but without Mahomes? So that's going to potentially answer the question this week. I don't know off the top of my head who KC is playing.
But they're playing the Chargers. But that's a pretty stupid argument, to be honest.
No. Listen, here's the way I see it. He has a point by saying that because just imagine if Josh Allen was put on a team of like the Chiefs' stature with the players they have. Imagine the yardage that the guy would fucking have. And just imagine at the same time, he still has better stats than Mahomes in the last 4 weeks. He doesn't have the team that Mahomes has. So, you know.
Yeah, the argument here is basically saying, is it Mahomes that makes the team or is it the team that makes Mahomes? That's essentially, and we're going to see that because if they win and they have a really good game against Chad Henne, or not against, but with Chad Henne at quarterback, then we'll be able to tell. But regardless, my argument was Mahomes shouldn't be in the MVP conversation because he has more weapons and more talent depth-wise than say Rodgers in Green Bay or Allen here in Buffalo.
Yeah, how do you think Cam Newton went as far as he did when they won when they went as far as he did back in the day? The only reason they went as far as he did was because of the fucking team around him. It's not because Cam Newton was a stub quarterback. He's a mediocre quarterback. He went that far because of his team around him, his defense, his fucking wide receivers, his running backs. That's the only reason he went as far as he did.
So we'll see. I could be completely wrong. Again, though, the Chargers are obviously not a great team to measure against. They have good players, obviously. They have Bosa. They have Justin Herbert. They have Eckler. Like, they have good players on their offense and their defensive side of the ball. They have good special teams, but they're not exactly the best team to measure against. You know, you would hope that they'd be playing a better team to measure against. I don't know if anybody else is seeing this, but I am also on Tom's screen. I don't know if anybody else is seeing
seeing
this.
it too.
Yeah.
Tom's been gone for a
actually
while.
Kind of weird because it's like I know what I'm actually doing is with the YouTube stream that we have right now. So here's actually a little quick thing for everybody. So basically, we're actually live on both Facebook and YouTube right now. Trying the X split, which is a little bit different. But what's happening is that apparently I just saw for the first 30 plus minutes it was only showing me and not you guys on YouTube. So then I had to kind of throw like a quick thing on there where it's like, all right, let's try and create a screen where at least it gets everybody on there for right now. So that's why you kind of saw my screen for a while. So,
He's fine. He's not dead.
But I didn't think he was dead.
Everybody's
I just wanted to make sure. So yeah.
Good to know he's breathing.
yeah.
Yeah, he's breathing.
Unlike 2 weeks ago when we were literally having a conversation. And
Yeah, and I was like
I
sleeping
know,
for like a half hour.
he was literally asleep.
Dude, you were dozing on and off,
Oh, I
man.
know.
He was
I was
3
out.
seconds away from snoring.
I know. I should have drank a
Absolutely
monster.
crazy. But yeah,
that
that's my argument.
That doesn't say much to the viewers, Tom. Come on.
night. Sorry about that, guys. But hey, it's live. You know, shit happens.
Yeah, it happens, but it's bound to happen. But
Yeah, and if anybody's watched the Christmas special, that was a complete shit show, but it was fun.
Oh,
It was
God.
fun.
Oh yeah, you were stoned. I was drunk, and all was good.
and I was hyper.
It's all
Oh,
good.
Bobby,
So-
you're always hyper.
There was a bunch of fucking shitty Christmas music and a whole bunch of stupid shit, but it was fun.
Absolutely. So actually, here's another thing too. We have actually one more breaking news story that just came out. So basically,
God.
Daniel Chara actually ended up getting a new deal. He actually signed 1 year, $795,000 with the Washington Capitals, as the Boston Bruins decided that thanks to Daniel, but we're going younger. We know you're old as hell, so go somewhere else.
Hey, you know what? It's not a bad sign. He's like
No.
the biggest fucking tree in the NHL, and plus they got him for the rest, exactly for all the rest of their cap space they had left, and how many other players are going to get for $795K? So, good luck to the guy. I never liked him. He's just a big goon his whole career, but oh well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate the signing. I don't hate what happened for either team, because Boston has been one of the teams that I've been pointing to over the last year or so and saying they have to get younger as a team. Like they're getting progressively older. They're not bringing up as many prospects as they should be. They're not trading or signing younger players that end up coming out as free agents. And so them getting rid of Chara and freeing up that contract spot to go younger, great move on Boston's part. Washington losing out on Lundqvist for the season, obviously. Thoughts and prayers to him with the what was it? It was like a heart condition or something that he had going on. Obviously hope that he's great and that we see him again on the ice one day. But putting a veteran defenseman on that team when you lose out on who is probably going to be a guy that you're going to see on the ice 50, if not more % of the time, just makes sense for Washington too. And so, like we said already, it's the rest of their cap space. It was a good signing. It's only for a year. So if you don't want to go past that, dump the contract at the end of the year, move on. And that's pretty much it. So it's a good move by both teams.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with it also because of the fact that, it's going to give them some room. Boston definitely needs some help right now because of the fact that, they've been an older team for a long time. And knowing that they're still going to have different players like Marchand and so forth, they'll still be able to do everything that they need to. But at the same time, it still gives Chara another option in the fact that, he still technically he still can do some big things. It's just basically he's at that point where his career is pretty much done. He's not going to have that much longer left to actually play games in the league. But at the same time, Washington is still a contender. And when you have Ovechkin and you have everybody that they have, it still works out fairly well. So, it still gives them options.
Yeah. Hey, this one really quick I got for Bobby. He's both. He's not going to hate this. He's actually going to like this. We've gone back and forth on this player a couple of times. We have differing opinions on him, but according to Complete Hockey News, who just posted it 3 minutes ago, the Islanders are not inviting forward Josh Hosang to training camp this season.
Yeah,
so
what?
It looks like they're potentially looking to move on from Josh Hosang.
To be honest with you, I'm not surprised. I watched him in development camp when he first got drafted a month after in 2014. He had all the talent in the world, but the only people that he could blame is himself because he fucked up his career. He was stubborn. He was just not doing what he was supposed to be doing, and the price is pretty steep. He's not getting invited to the World Juniors because I find it ironic that this is the same thing that happened to Nino Niederreiter when he was with the Islanders, and he did not get an invite to practice or to training camp or whatever, and he demanded a trade. He went to Minnesota for Cal Clutterbuck. So honestly, good riddance. It's another bust because 2014 was a bust in general. Michael Del Cole is a bust, and Josh Hosang is a bust. And I wanted the Sabres to get Josh Hosang, but I didn't realize he was that much of a prick. But he did this to himself.
Yeah,
so
I'll take him.
Good riddance.
I'll take him.
Good. That's a wasted roster spot, so you can go right ahead and take him.
Hey, speaking of the Sabres, JJ Peterka was just named Germany's player of the game, put up 3 goals and 5 points tonight.
Goody. There's another player. Thanks, San Jose.
But who were they playing? Playing the Swiss?
Yeah, they were playing against Switzerland.
Yeah, the Swiss got fucking blanked by Canada yesterday 10-0 too. So
Oh,
they're
man.
not having
Yeah,
a good
but I mean,
tournament.
still, either way, Paterka's been pretty good throughout. The Germany as a whole has not been very good in this tournament, but Paterka has been. And he looks like he has a bright future ahead of him. So
If
again,
anybody watched the Germany Canada game, you see how bad their team can be.
yeah, but yeah, still, either way, I mean, Paterka looked good even in that game for how bad the rest of Germany is.
I love how like after that game though, like we knew going into that game that we were going to destroy Germany. We knew it. You have fucking 19 first round picks in your fucking team against not even a full bench of players at sub core power players. Like what's going to happen? Then people are giving Canada shit because you should have laid off the gas a bit. You should have not been so hard on them and go fuck your head. You know, if you're not good enough to fucking play in the tournament, don't fucking play in it.
Yeah, very true.
You
I
get beat.
mean,
Canada's talent.
totally
Get
true
beat
on
16-1. You fucking lick your wounds and move on to the next fucking game. And I'm pretty sure Germany did a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking much about the World Juniors because I know for a fact, as an American, I know for a fact Canada is going to win it all.
No, they're not.
You don't think so?
You know what? I don't think Canada's been tested yet. And
Well-
when they get tested, we don't have we have what's his name? Levi in net.
Okay.
And he's decent, but like he's not like a legitimate NHL starter. He's just like Canada doesn't have the depth in goaltending this year. Same
Right.
with the States. I don't think the States have depth in goaltending this year.
Yeah, the States have some issues as well, but I guess we'll see. But I think the United States are going to be the first ones to pull strings on Canada when that time comes.
I don't think Canada's going to have an issue with the States.
We'll
I
see.
don't. And I think that the only team that we're going to have issues with, like in like championship time, is going to be fucking Russia, as always.
What about Germany?
Germany, no, Jesus, fuck. Are you serious? You think we have? They're not going to make the fucking preliminary. They won't even make the fucking quarterfinals.
Well, they already clinched, so fuck it.
Oh, they clinched. Well, they actually clinched. Could they beat Slovakia?
So what? Germany has a pretty good team in general. I mean, Canada too, but Germany, to me, has some pretty good forwards.
Canada has the best team in that fucking championship. In those juniors, look at the teams, man. Like if they still had Doc right now, they'd fucking be like, there'd be nobody touched them right now.
That's my point. I mean, there would be more jobs available for these people to contribute to what they're doing right now, just pretty much advance, and then there would be no jobs afterwards for whoever gets eliminated. And then by the time Canada gets to the top, which I'm just going to say until they get to the World Junior Finals, they're going to be sending out more blowjobs.
Well, I just think that Germany's not going to go very far because of the fucking fact that they don't have the manpower.
And
They don't have the bench. They're going to get tired too quick. They're not going to be able to compete in the fucking further rounds, even if they get past the first round.
we'll see. I mean, when's the first round?
I don't know. All I know is I think that I don't know who's actually. I haven't really paying attention to it, so I don't know who's where right now.
All I know is that what the hell is this face? Yeah, I'm pretty much at this point just focusing. I haven't watched it either, but I watched that 16-2 win over Germany for Canada not too long ago.
Yeah, that was a beatdown.
Yep.
And utter proportions.
I mean, the United States looks pretty good in general too, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, so Sean, do you have any wrestling news?
I do, and this is one of these news that I really don't want to. I really hate bringing up, but oh boy,
It's
how
okay.
do I start this? So I think it was this past weekend or something, or a couple days ago. John Huber, formerly known as Luke Harper in WWE, and Brody Lee in AEW, died.
Oh, that's sorry.
Yeah, he was 41. I forgot what the cause of death was, but that was a shocker, man. Like, holy crap! I didn't know what to say about that. like at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really unfortunate.
I haven't watched wrestling in years, but I heard of the guy. I heard he's a legend to say the least.
Yeah, basically when he was in the WWE, he was a big part of the Wyatt family, and that's how he actually ended up getting his start in that. But then after a while, he ended up breaking away from WWE, went to AEW. A little bit of what happened on that story also is that I guess there was like some type of pre-existing lung condition that ended up getting him, and then of course with the whole COVID thing going around, that also ended up playing a little bit of a part supposedly in it. But at the same time, AEW already stepped up and they signed his son actually to a contract when he's old enough to actually wrestle over there. So hopefully, that'll, hopefully, well, first and foremost, thoughts go out to his family and everybody. And then I know it affected a lot of people in the wrestling world as well. So, just the biggest thing is, just remember the work he did. And he was a good character. I mean, he was actually one of the people I liked watching for a while. Great fit in the Wyatt family, actually, when he was there.
Yeah.
I mean, may God bless his soul, even though I know nothing about that guy.
Shut up, Bobby.
But I'm just trying to be honest.
Yeah, there were actually some good moments between him and Braun Strowman. I remember that. But a lot of the wrestlers, even John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, he's definitely taken it pretty hard too, because he ended up talking about how John could do pretty much everything that he could ever want, and just a big part of him is all gone. So I mean, it just sucks when you lose someone good and who has a lot of talent, and same thing if you lose a hockey player, you lose a football player, basketball player, whatever. I mean, it's it's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. But I will say this though, actually, the interesting thing is the Knicks actually ended up winning against Cleveland yesterday. I actually sat through a basketball game.
Who gives a fuck? I don't watch the NBA.
I quit watching basketball years ago.
Nobody gives a fuck about that.
Just so everybody knows on the speed, we don't like basketball. Go fuck your hat.
Right.
For sure.
Right. We actually have some comments on the Facebook stream too, just so you know. Our resident Boston fan, Katie Trend, actually is on. She's basically saying, ha 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 ha, New England. I'm like, well, Katie, as much as we love you, the Patriots suck, and the Patriots are nothing without Tom Brady.
Yeah,
that is a fact.
That's like a no-brainer though. Like, give me a real fact.
Yeah.
And then actually we got one more comment that came in too. So show contributor Jeremy Macbeth ended up also commenting, and he's going to come on after the new year. He'll do some shows with us. But he says he remembers talking to John Huber at an Amerks game. And he was getting food and said, I don't want to bother you, but you have a cool job, and asked how big Braun Strowman really was. He ended up giving him the smile, and he said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And then Katie after that ends up saying, I'm not even arguing that point, hence my comment. She also said, Chara signed with Washington. We just covered that. So, which actually, Katie, if you want, feel free to give us an opinion on what you think of Chara leaving Boston, because I know you love the Bruins.
Oh fuck!
Seriously? You're a Boston fan. Thank fucking God you left our division and went to the Sabres and destroy them for a fucking year for once.
And then we have a fucking future Kraken fan coming in on this. Well, he's already on the show, so he's already just hiding in the corner, just fucking off playing video games.
Well, everybody knows, being a Leafs fan, the Boston Bruins have been our fucking nemesis for fucking. Oh, it's just disgusting. I don't even want to. It makes me sick.
Years.
So I'm happy when I seen that all Canadian division. I'm just like, oh my God, we have a chance. We have a chance to do something.
Yeah, because that's just the whole Canadian division. So I understand where you're coming from, but that's okay because that just further shows the Leafs are overrated as shit when they're in the same division with Boston for all these years. But
okay, well, just have fun, bud. You're gonna have fun this year with Boston running all over your fucking ass.
Because you know what? At least the Sabres are playing the fucking Bruins, unlike the goddamn Leafs, who are so pathetic that they can't even beat them in the regular season, let alone the playoffs.
Oh, what do you mean? Like the non-playoff team, like the Sabres?
Yeah, at least the Sabres games are more competitive against Boston, unlike Toronto.
Oh, yeah, but I don't see you in the playoffs, though. Good argument. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and did you go to the second round with this so-called current core you have?
Oh, okay, but are you in the playoffs? Were you in the playoffs since when's the last time you were in the playoffs?
When was the last time the Leafs ever did anything surpassing the first
When was
round?
the last time you won a cup?
Who was the last time the Leafs actually beat the Sabres in a fucking playoff series?
When is the last time you won a cup, Bobby? Come on, answer me.
Yeah, I should be
forgot about
asking you the
popcorn.
same thing. I should be asking you that too.
Oh, in 1967, but did I win a cup? We won a cup. Did you win a cup?
No, I don't have a cup, but at least I have some legends that people actually can remember, unlike your whole fucking history of Leafs players.
Let the adults talk. Let the adults talk. Shut the fuck up, Chillin. And
No, you shut the fuck up. How about that?
time
so
you guys made the playoffs.
Yep. So actually, what I was gonna mention to everybody too. So we have a few more comments that ended up coming in, and basically with what we have right now, one good thing I can actually tell you is that with a few people here. So Katie actually mentioned that, yeah, she's a Bruins fan and she respects Chara's choice to go to Washington. To be honest, I'm really excited to see Hall play with Buffalo. Well, yeah, me too. I mean, what the hell is my Zoom screen doing? But anyways,
I don't know.
I'm like, it's showing
No
like
idea.
the preview on my damn background. What the hell? I don't know. And like the whole thing like
Look at Bobby,
worked
like
itself.
chewing his nails.
I know. I'm like, what the frick? But anyways, then Scott Reed, he's actually saying, hey, so actually, Scott, I was gonna say it was nice to actually jump in on your show for a little bit yesterday too. I watched it through. You and your crew have a good setup over there, and then I watched the thing about the wheel, and I missed out on my signed Charles Clay because it actually I was like, okay, it's gonna land, and I'm like, ah, damn it, I just missed it by one. So, but,
You're
but
talking
thanks
about that
for
game against the Dolphins? Are you talking about that game against Miami with Charles Clay when Josh Allen's rookie year?
Yes, I think that's what it is. But
Just remember this,
could be worse.
because the Dolphins are fighting to get to the playoffs. Just remember one thing, Bills fans, those watching the show: Josh Allen will always make the Dolphins their daddy.
That's true.
But, Bobby, you need better like comebacks.
But it's true. I mean, the Dolphins are absolute shit.
I'm just saying, like you could have thought of something better. That's all.
What?
Something a little more pizzazz.
We'll see. I mean,
You
to
know
us,
what,
right?
which reminds me, actually. So, are we even? Do we even? Honestly, I gotta be. Let's be honest here. Do we even care if we beat them if we beat the Dolphins or not this Sunday? Because here's the thing: we already got our division. Come playoff time, we're going to be either the 2 or 3 seed. I would really like to be the 2 seed, but we're guaranteed a home playoff game. So,
Well, the
does it really
point,
matter if we beat the Dolphins or not?
actually, yeah, it does.
Set the tone. Set the fucking tone. Set the tone for the fucking playoff match. And plus, you're going to get the 2nd seed. So yeah, to me, it matters if you win.
It absolutely
Okay,
does.
I get it. But like,
Because if Buffalo loses and Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh gets the number 2 and Buffalo gets the number 3. So yes, it actually does matter if the Bills win this game or something. Because
okay, but I was just asking because my thing is, do we want to risk any injury on any of our star players come playoff time? You know,
well,
Yeah.
think about that.
I mean, I get the argument, but you're trying to eliminate the Dolphins from the playoffs.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
but do you want to risk Josh Allen?
No, of course not.
No, hell no.
Well, my recommendation is start your backup and keep everyone else the same.
Well,
That's what I'm thinking.
I had a better idea. Why don't you do this? Have Allen play in the first half and then have either Barkley or Jake Fromm play in the second half.
Well, put Fromm in
Very
for the
good
full
option.
game.
I'd like to see Fromm play.
Put
Yeah.
Fromm in the full game.
Now that I think about it, you know what?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it again, honestly now it comes down to building momentum for the playoffs. So getting a win this weekend, yeah, definitely build that momentum.
Well, if the Bills get Kenny Stills, which the media is basically saying, well, in terms of news, that the two sides can come to an agreement as early as either tomorrow or Friday. So if Kenny Stills were to go to the Buffalo Bills, which don't get me wrong, I think that's huge, that if they can get their hands on Stills, but it would be a much bigger upgrade over Jake Kumaro from a couple of weeks ago. But if you look at it from retrospectively, Cole Beasley's not going to be playing it possibly in the first round of the playoffs, and he might be back in the divisional round if the Bills get past the first round. So we'll see how it goes. But I think getting Kenny Stills is a nice piece to adding to their depth chart because you already have Stephon Diggs, you have Cole Beasley, you have John Brown coming back, you have Isaiah McKenzie, you have Gabriel Davis, and then you add Kenny Stills to this mix. Dude, that's a really deep receiving core for the Bills.
But the only reason they're thinking about bringing Kenny Stills in is because they have a missing wide receiver. Cole Beasley's not going to play their next game, so they're going to have Kenny Stills come in his place, and it's an easy fucking cheap pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he doesn't have that much left on his contract, and everything's prorated. So from there, I would absolutely take it. Get more depth on there, especially if you want to beat Kansas City. You're gonna have to have that wide receiver depth, and you're gonna have that in order to really advance the ball downfield. The great thing is Kenny Stills can be a deep threat, similar to Diggs and similar to John Brown. So it absolutely helps.
Now, the question is, if Stills works out for Buffalo, does he get an extension in the end of the playoffs if they agree to a deal?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it
depends
on how he plays.
What would be interesting is if players and different teams could agree to loaning players from teams that didn't make the playoffs to teams that made the playoffs. So we give you DJ Moore and give you Anderson for the playoffs.
Yeah, that would never happen. They do it with practice squad players. They do, but not with starters.
It'd just be funny, though, if you guys could grab up fucking DJ Moore and Anderson for the playoffs. You guys would be set.
Oh, I see. Because the Panthers are so trash at the moment, you're just take all our players, Bills.
Right.
Why not? I want to help. I want to help my new favorite QB. So.
True. You have said you don't like the Bills, but your favorite player, arguably your favorite quarterback in the NFL, is Josh Allen.
Yeah, since Cam Newton is hot fucking garbage. Yes, and he left the Panthers. He lost all my love when he left me. So fuck that guy.
Well, if it makes you feel better, if the Panthers take Zach Wilson out of BYU, they could very well trade up and get him if they choose to, which I think they can. But I've heard that if the Panthers take Zach Wilson or any team, the Jets, the not the Bengals, the Falcons, any of those teams that get Wilson, whoever gets him, that team could end up with the second coming of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, well, that's what I said. That's why I want Zach Wilson. That's why I preached you that day. I was telling you all the stats that he had better than fucking Justin Fields. And I was this guy is so much better than Fields. Fields way overrated. And he's from Ohio State. So that's a big fucking red flag right there.
Oh, yeah. Because, the only quarterback that I could think of that actually worked out from Ohio State but had to get transferred to to another school or to another program that actually ranked up his status was Joe Burrow. He's the only one I can think of that actually worked out well in that favor for OSU.
Yep.
Because when the time Burrow got drafted, or the year or two before he got drafted first overall, he was a freaking backup for freaking Ohio State at that point. And he's I want to go play elsewhere. And he gets transferred to LSU and then just took off.
Well, it goes to show you that when you leave college football, it's all in the development stage. So if you could leave college football playing you're playing against a bunch of teenagers and sophomores, you're not going to know how to play in the NFL. You're not ready for it. But
No.
Ohio State obviously doesn't have a good development program when it comes to that stuff.
Right.
And that's what I don't get. They have a good development program, but they can't develop quarterbacks. And Justin Fields is not going to be any different.
Well, that's what I mean. They have a good development situation for when they fucking play in Ohio State. They've won lots of championships. They're really successful, but they don't have it for when they leave. They don't have it. They don't have development in quarterbacks.
No, they don't, and that's the sad part about it. Because I do like most college football teams across the country, but OSU does not know how to develop quarterbacks. They can develop every other position, but just not the most important one. If that makes any sense.
No, it all comes down to management, and they're all their divisions. So
I agree. Oh, speaking of Ohio State, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, there it is. Okay, so because the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I've heard this for a while, and everybody can chip in for this, is that Jacksonville, because they have the first overall pick and they're going to get Trevor Lawrence, and because they're going to probably fire Doug Marrone, and because they're going to get a new general manager, regardless who it is. But I've heard whoever they hire as the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, I've heard that Urban Meyer could be the next head coach. Yeah, so Urban Meyer.
I have no opinion on this.
Yeah, Urban Meyer is one of the better college football coaches in the country.
Yeah,
so
he definitely is. But I'll tell you one thing, though. Whatever Shad Khan does down there, I mean, he should have gotten rid of Marrone at least a year ago because, I mean, he's just a total dumpster fire down there. So, I mean, let's look at everything. Doug Marrone, he's not a good NFL coach. He never was a good NFL coach. He wasn't even a good college coach, for that matter, at Syracuse. He would basically made them a mediocre team instead of being total trailer trash. And sorry for anyone that lives in a mobile home, but anyways, it's one of those things where I mean, Syracuse sucked as a college football team. Marrone only made him halfway relevant, and then look at what happened with Hackett in Green Bay. I mean,
oh god,
I'm like, what the? I'm like, holy god.
Nate Hackett is absolutely. Oh, speaking of Green Bay, I just realized that both Mike Pettin and Nate Hackett were both coordinators for the Bills 7-8 years ago.
Yeah,
probably.
It's absolutely nuts.
Probably sucked so bad.
Christ. I mean, Nate Hackett sucks dick, but the fact that he's actually coaching Aaron Rodgers is just mind-blowing. And then Mike Patton, who I've always liked, when he was the defensive coordinator because he had a good system, and then the Browns had to fuck him over, and then he's gone in 2 years, and now he goes to Green Bay, and he's having the career of his life right now. He's having too much fun with the Packers.
Oh. And actually we got a couple other things in here also. So Jeremy Macbeth's laughing his ass off right now. And actually, Bobby, your wife-to-be actually commented here too. She says the Bills better play like they're fighting for a spot, no relaxing until the season's over.
I agree with her.
That's a good answer. That's good. You know what? That's why she's my favorite American, Bobby, and it's not you.
Fuck you. How about that?
Actually, Bobby, if you want, bring her on the show. Because I know we were supposed to do that like 2 weeks ago.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? Let me send her an invite to the show because I think because I've been saying for a while that she should be on the show and I forgot about it. Because you know what? I was supposed to bring her on to the Christmas show special and I was like, oh crap, I forgot about it because we were talking about it.
Right.
And next thing you know, I told her about it and she's like, oh, you recorded without me? And I said, I'm sorry, I forgot. So I'm going to send Brittany a text now, hopefully to God that she actually answers this damn thing. Because if she comes on and gives an insight about what's going on, I would totally be on board to see what she has to say. Because
by the way, they sent me like a wonderful Christmas present from the US of A. They sent me the golden gift, which is Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And we can't get that here up in Canada. No Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And they sent me a fucking big, massive box of chocolates. My very own mini American flag that I proudly hanged outside my house next to my Canadian flag yesterday. Mm-hmm. And candle. And what else did you send?
I sent you a candle.
Yeah, I got the candle. The candle's lovely. That doesn't make me gay, by the way, people, just because I like candles.
So what? I have candles all around my apartment.
And even the box was like, even the box it came in, I was just like, my God, the box has magnets on it.
Yeah, that was the bargain chip right there. Because I said to Brittany, because we heard about your story a little while back, and we thought, let's do something nice for Adam for once for Christmas. And Brittany comes up with this idea saying, we do owe him something, so we may as well just do it. So we go to Home Goods here in New York, where I'm at in Long Island. I don't know if you have that in Canada or up in Western New York in the Buffalo area, guys.
Yeah, we definitely have it up in Western New York. We've had it for a while now.
Yeah. What about you, Ed? Do you have a Home Goods?
Not in Canada.
Okay, but do you know what it is though?
Nope.
Okay, Home
do you
Goods.
have a place called Home Sense up in Canada?
Home Sense. Nope.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
It's like a home decor place, basically.
yeah, I'm gonna get to that. So Home Goods, Adam, to answer your question, is an American convenience store, not like 7-Eleven, but it's like a little mini store that's probably about maybe I don't know what the estimate like length of the store is, but they're all across here in New York. And it's basically a store where you can go inside and you can buy stuff for your house, like pillows, couches, numerous amounts of stuff, like silverware, plates, you name it. Anything you can think accessibly for your house, rugs, carpets, bed
So it's like Jisk in Canada.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just all home stuff. And if you want, I have something to show you. And I got this at Home Goods a little while back. It was one of those cheap deals that you would normally not get. Let me grab my cup here real quick because I have something interesting to show you. Okay, I got it.
Not be
This is the item I got at Home Goods last November. So this is it. This is a Buffalo Bills mug that I got at Home Goods last year.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's one of the mugs. So, and it was like $5.99. So that, and they sell all kinds of shit. So Halloween, like decorations for like certain holidays, like Christmas, Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, stuff like that. So that's what Home Goods is. So when you get a chance, look it up. It's a store here in America.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. But yeah, Brittany said she could come on, but she won't talk for too long. So
that's fine. She can
Bring
come
it
on.
on.
Yeah, apparently Zoom really borked my video tonight because now it's like I'm doing the same thing that Adam does, except I actually have my head showing on the screen.
At least you actually have a prettier face. Let's just put it that way.
That's why I keep mine hidden. See?
Yeah.
I'll save mine. Everybody knows what I fucking look like, but you'll see it at a special occasion when I feel fit. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, and for everyone that's watching tonight too, it's like, we apologize. We're having a little bit of visual problems. We're like working out the kinks on new stuff, but we're trying to make do with it. So at least that it could be worse.
And fuck you guys if you don't like it. So fuck it. That's the way it goes.
Yes. So that's what we did with Adam this week. Was we got him a little Christmas gift of stuff for him personally, some coffee, some chocolate, some coffee, the American flag, and a bunch of other shit. And he kept the box too, which is really nice.
Cool.
The box was like badass. Jesus.
Yeah, that was Brittany's idea.
Yeah, it's good. It was a good idea.
Yep. So Brittany said okay, so she should be on any moment. So if we see the invite, Tom, obviously just let her in, I guess.
Yep.
We'll see what she says. But regarding to Brittany's comment about the Bills with the game, about not resting the starters, she has a point. I mean, you have a quarterback, you have everything in your grasp, but just keep everybody healthy, put them in a certain limited amount of plays, play them at one half, and then play your backups or your practice squad guys in the second half. That's my suggestion, so that you don't screw anybody over.
Right. And actually, speaking of Brittany, Bobby, your wife just joined us.
She's not my wife yet.
Close enough.
Jesus, Bob.
Wow.
Close enough. It ain't that far off.
Yeah, we got another year, so we got another year until
Yeah,
then.
close
So
enough.
yeah, what's
You could have just agreed and said, "Yeah, that's my wife."
just wait till she actually is your wife, and then when you say she isn't, she'll smack you upside the head.
Oh no, I mean, like right now she's not my wife, but eventually she will be.
Everybody understands, Bobby. Let her talk. Shut the fuck up.
How's it going, Brittany?
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Not bad. So,
Pretty good.
yeah, we got
Brittany, do me a favor.
What happened?
Say Boston.
It's Boston, Adam. Boston.
Yeah.
Alright. So of course we brought you in. We know you got some takes on different things. And actually our resident guy Trainer who's in the chat. And actually Trainer, why don't you jump on sometime if you want?
Stop being a dumbass, John Goodman.
Yeah. But basically Trainer said it looks like Bobby's in the doghouse now.
Oh yeah.
No, it's okay. I still accidentally call him my boyfriend all the time, so he's good.
That is so not true, and you know it.
No, I accidentally, like, when I talk to people, I accidentally say my boyfriend instead of my fiance, so I'm sorry.
That's
So
fine.
he's good.
That's because I'm not in America yet, Brittany. That's why.
You're lucky.
I'm waiting for you, Adam.
Live there.
Adam, you're lucky I don't have to smack you, guy.
Oh.
Well, I do have to show you guys. I am wearing, excuse my appearance, but I have to show you. I got my Bills hoodie on, so I'm repping.
Nice.
I'm representing.
Nice.
All right.
So, still excited for Monday night.
I don't represent anything but Buffalo other than Allen, so that's.
Well, you can get an Allen jersey.
No, I'm not going to pay money for it. Okay.
Ohio State. One
Oh,
being
get
is
him
Justin
off
Fields,
that.
who hasn't even been.
No.
So, yeah, so because you know what it is, Brett, we've been keeping up with your comments on the show lately, and you bring in some really good insight. So we wanted to bring you in more for more inside detail about everything we're talking about regarding Monday night's game, going into the game on Sunday against the Dolphins, and just the overall performance, what they should do, everything like that. Because there's been some pretty big amount of news for the Bills later today.
I don't know any new news today because I was working, and I can only talk about the Bills. I don't know how the other teams are doing, but honestly, with how the Bills have been playing so far this season, I can foresee them going semifinals. That's where I can foresee them going.
So, in other words, you personally believe that depending on where you're going at, you think the Bills can make the AFC Championship game?
Yes.
That's
And I
That's the
say
same.
that
Yeah.
I say that only because their chemistry, I don't know what they haven't been doing before, what they're doing this season. Whatever they're doing this season, they are clicking on offense and defense. There's been some hiccups, but whatever they're doing lately, it's working, and they are clicking. They are unbelievable.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you know what? I'll say it, and I'll say it again. I've said it 100 fucking times, and I'll keep on saying it. The Bills are exemplary on every fucking front. Offense, they're insane. When it comes to like wide receivers and receiving fucking rushes, they're insane. The thing that's going to kill them is their run game. Their run game's going to kill them. That's the reason they won't win the Super Bowl is because of their run game.
I mean, it got a little
It
better.
depends what team they play. Because if they play a team that is better on defense side and if they have more aggressive players, then they run the ball because Allen has thrown, quite a few interceptions, and that is what ruins their momentum in the game. So they're trying to prevent that.
The fact is, if you get to the semifinals, I guarantee you're probably going to be met with the Chiefs. Am I correct?
Yeah, if Kansas City wins the next two rounds going into the playoffs, they would most likely be in the AFC Championship game against Buffalo if everything goes into plan.
But let me tell you, when we played Kansas City, I think that was like our first Monday night game or something. I was not mad. I was pleased with how they played that game. Even though we lost, I was pleased with how they played that game.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if you run into Kansas City on a game with no run game when you can't get a pass off because they're really good at pass interference or pass defense, and you run into like having to run the ball, then that's where Buffalo needs to get their game going because that's where Kansas City will beat them on.
I agree. And I agree that when he does throw the ball, he tries to go for the long yards instead of doing a short game. I think that is what also kills him. But I can agree with you. And they're going to have to see that when they get into the playoffs, they're not with the Pee-wee teams anymore. They're with the big guys. And they got to play with the big guys.
Yeah. But I mean,
when it comes down to like passing though, if it comes down to Mahomes and Allen and a throwdown from like wide receiver throws, I'll take Allen all day. To throw Mahomes.
Yeah. I'm honestly not scared of Mahomes.
No, I'd be more scared of his team around him, not Mahomes.
Yeah. I mean, I would be less worried about Patrick Mahomes than I would be about like Aaron Rodgers or something like that. But I do think though, if there's one thing I want to talk about as far as the Bills go, why don't we talk about Stephon Diggs? That guy went
he killed it.
Dude, you want to talk about setting records?
Yeah.
What in the
He's
world?
from a different planet. He's bred
Shoot,
differently.
maybe he is.
He's
Dude,
bred
leads the
different.
NFL in what? Receptions and receiving yards, something like that.
Yeah, and if he finishes the season on Sunday with that, he'll be the very first ever Buffalo Bills player
Yep.
in the
Yep.
wide receiver category to ever lead the league in that category.
Yep, dude, that says a lot here's the thing. You had the likes of freaking Andre Reed
Eric
and
Moulds.
Eric Moulds. Yeah, those guys have never done it. Andre Reed's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Right.
Like, bro, man.
I mean, and of course and later on today we also found out that Stephon Diggs was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
well
just
That's a
deserved.
saw that.
no-brainer. That's a fucking no-brainer, though. Like we called that like when we watched the game that night.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
True,
it's a
man.
no-brainer. Like if we fucking run over the Pats like the way he did, fucking just outran everybody.
Like,
And he was like, and then Bobby made a comment about how he wears his gloves like fucking 3 sizes too big, and there's a fucking reason for it because it's smart. Because you see all those fucking plays that you catch it, but it just tips off your finger. But he's like, yeah, you know what? If I fucking wear 2 times bigger gloves for my fucking hands, then I'll have an extra chance to catch it. He doesn't drop balls.
Right.
No, he doesn't. And I made the comment on Monday how he wears 3X, 4X gloves because it gives him an extra grip when he gets those passes. And then it's like, if you go on YouTube, okay? If you go on YouTube and you type in the top 100 players from 2019, Stephon Diggs was ranked at number 54. And he's been doing this since he was a rookie with the Vikings. And there was a one clip in his segment where they talked about when there was a deep pass from Kirk Cousins, he just throws it, and it's against the Eagles, and he just went down with a route play like this. He's aiming downfield for Kirk Cousins, and he's just going at normal speed, and as soon as he gets in the end zone, he's running like this, and he just catches like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and actually to talk about what he did on the Monday night game against Patriots, 9 receptions, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns, and targeted 11 times. I mean, and the thing is, the Patriots didn't even adjust to it. They just let Stephon Diggs burn them all night long.
Well, they couldn't though. They can't. Like I can guarantee you, man. There's no team in the league that can like. If you watch Stephon Diggs, the way he like runs players out and fakes them out and shit, he's really crafty and he's really fucking quick and he's really hard to fucking catch.
Yeah.
What is he called? The ankle breaker?
Yeah, he breaks fucking ankles. Yeah, he breaks fucking ankles.
Yep. Like
Because he's really fucking, he's like spazzy as fuck. He'll like jump from one section to another behind you before you even know he's there.
Yeah, and even during the game Monday night, I mean, this season alone, when they showed this graphic, and actually we had it up, it was like around like 10:05 at night during the game. But Stephon Diggs, like partway through the game, he was up to 117 receptions and 1,422 yards so far this season. He's leading the NFL in everything.
Yeah. And he also leads the NFL in receiving yards with 1,422. And he's probably going to play the majority of the game. I'm willing to bet that Stephon Diggs will at least play 3 quarters on Sunday against Miami. And there's more to this too. And because of this outrageous performance by the Patriots Monday night, I read this from Adam Schefter. And the tweet goes like this. The Bills became the first team to sweep the Patriots in the regular season since 2000. This was 20 years ago. Bill Belichick's first season with the Patriots. And before Monday night, the Patriots were the only NFL team not to be swept by a divisional foe since the division realignment in 2002.
Yeah.
No wonder he threw that phone.
Yeah, so.
Oh, man. Like back to the Stephon Diggs thing. Like, I am 100% sure the Patriots prepared for him, but they still couldn't stop him. Like,
no, they had no option.
Dude.
They had no answer. They had
No.
answer.
No, they had nothing.
They had 3-man coverage on the guy. You watch some of the plays; they literally had 3 guys on him, and they weren't even close to the guy.
They couldn't do a thing with him.
Right.
It's ludicrous.
Oh, man.
Yeah. In fact, actually, what I'll do is I'll share a little something with everybody here, but and sorry with how it's showing up on the live feed, but here we go. In fact, for everyone who wants
Ah,
to,
yeah.
always wanted to
Bill.
see it.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah.
Who's on the phone, Bill? Nobody.
It's like, how do you like
Oh wait,
that?
that was Josh Allen calling him, be like, haha, fucker.
Yeah, really.
Right.
He
Oh,
was probably calling Tom Brady, asking him to come back. I'm like, nope.
no, not even.
Nope.
Well, can we also talk about how good Barkley was too in the last 10 minutes he was in or something?
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to risk injury on Allen, so you play Matt Barkley, or in this case, Bitcoin Barkley. That's who you want.
No, but even though he has big shoes to fill, I think he did pretty good. Holding down everything.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much more to this. And I also saw something really interesting too, is that I forget exactly where I got this from, but this is a very wild stat from Monday night. Josh Allen threw more touchdown passes in one game at Gillette Stadium than Cam Newton did the entire calendar year.
Yeah, and he
Why do you
handed
have to
Belichick
keep bringing?
the worst
Why do you
home
have to keep
loss.
bringing Cam Newton in?
Yeah, and I
Why do
think
you
if I
have
remember,
to keep bringing up my boy like he's a piece of trash?
because Cam Newton is Buffalo's little bitch for the year. So anyway, so the stat was what I just said. Josh Allen threw 4 touchdown passes in one game at Foxborough at Gillette Stadium throughout the entire year in one night. Then Cam Newton did 2 throughout the entire season. Cam Newton only completed 2 of those throughout the entire year, and he had them on 7 tries.
Oh,
Stop hurting my boy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh, sorry,
Stop
I'm going to pile
hurting.
on a little bit
Stop
more
hating on
because the way Cam Newton played with that offense, he gave Bill Belichick his worst home loss ever.
oh man.
Dude, like the guy is like you're thrown into a pack of wolves. Like it's what are you supposed to do? Like I felt bad for Cam Newton that game. Like how bad like they played around him and stuff. It was just bad. Like you look at the touchdown he ran in. He literally had to be like, "Oh fuck, nobody's gonna take the ball. Okay, I'll just run that fucker in."
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's another fun fact too. In Belichick's entire head coaching career at the Patriots, he's only had 2 worst losses in his career. Both of them thanks to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, buddy.
How's that? Back in 2003, I still remember that home opener like it was yesterday. That right there, what made me a Bills fan right there. That 31-0 shutout win.
Mm.
Oh
All
man.
the win for Belichick.
Yep.
For
And
real.
and I think it's another interesting too is another fact I saw too is that Josh Allen has 90-something passes to go to break the regular season record in Bills history by any quarterback to have the most passing yards in a single season, surpassing Drew Bledsoe.
Man.
Yeah, I forget the estimate number that Drew Bledsoe had, but Josh Allen could definitely break it.
Oh yeah. That hands down.
And he's only 2 touchdowns, I think, away from breaking Jim Kelly's all-time record for the most touchdown passes in a single season by any Bills quarterback.
I think you already did.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I think they mentioned it because I think they said Jim Kelly had 33 touchdown passes in a single season.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Josh Allen has 34.
He passed it this past Sunday.
You mean Monday?
Monday. My
Yeah.
bad.
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So, yeah, Allen definitely broke it. I don't know what the hell I was looking at, but I know he still has to break that passing yards record from Drew Bledsoe in order to complete it. So, if I'm going to guess what's going to happen here, I think Allen's going to play the whole game on Sunday just to break that record.
I wouldn't be surprised,
Is that
actually.
is it worth it though? Like maybe risk him getting hurt for the playoffs. I don't think it's worth it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right, or maybe do kind of something where you play Josh Allen first half, and then you get Barkley a look, and then you give Jake Fromm a look. I mean, you could always do that.
Put Fromm in for the first 2 quarters, and then fucking bring in fucking Allen for the third and fourth.
I would probably do the opposite.
I mean, I still think Allen can break the record in the first half.
Right. I mean, possibly even on one passing play. There's
Maybe, yeah.
He's only got 20, 30 yards he's got to worry about. I mean,
Yeah.
could easily do it.
That's for sure. But what does Brittany think of this idea? Should Allen play the whole game, or should he play at least one half?
I think that they should obviously start him, see how aggressively they're playing, and if they have enough lead, like they did with the Patriot game, if they have enough lead, bench him. But otherwise, I think he should start and play, and that'll set the mood for how the game will go.
Yeah, I would probably say so. Imagine though if they get Kenny Stills signed, because there's been talks that the Bills will probably end up signing him, and if they do sign him, could you imagine the amount of depth that the Bills receiving corps will have going into the playoffs? And that's without Cole Beasley at this point.
Probably the only team that'll
man.
stack up against KC favorably.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like Kansas City has like two weapons: Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Sammy Watkins is just like a ghost at this point. So
Yeah.
I think, and plus, I think if I remember correctly, if Kenny Stills, if he plays on Sunday or in the playoffs, I don't know, but whenever that time comes, if he is activated by Sunday against the Dolphins, and if he catches a touchdown pass, Josh Allen will break another record. He's already, if Stills catches a pass from Josh Allen, he would be the 14th receiver on the roster to catch a touchdown pass, and that's beyond by any Bills quarterback in history, because the record I think was 12, and then it's 13, and then you add 14 on that situation if Kenny still plays on Sunday.
Mm.
So that's the stat going in.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good things to take a look at. And we actually had some other comments on the site during the week too. And Trevor Hauer, our resident Colts fan, he said, "Dear Buffalo Bills, please play your starters Week 17. Sincerely, a fellow Colts fan."
Oh, so you're asking to get your ass kicked?
Right. And then here we
He
go.
would say that.
Yeah. And then they're also saying a couple other people mentioned Jeff Schoenhardt, who also follows the site. He actually ended up mentioning, "I hope they do too. As a Finns fan, I don't want to hear any excuses when we beat them." The Finns ain't winning shit.
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
Listen, the Dolphins, I like the direction they're going, but I am not a fan of any of the decisions that Brian Flores has made regarding Tua. You've already benched the guy twice.
Right. You got to let him play through it. I mean, that's exactly what happened when Allen came in. Yeah, his first year, he had some crap games. Second year, he had some crap games. But the thing is, you play through it. That's how you learn. That's how you learn to adjust. That's how you learn to read the different defenses and everything that's going to be thrown at you. I mean, you got to let him play. And especially with Tua, I mean, like you mentioned, being benched twice now at different points. Come on, you gotta let him play through it, especially now that you're committing to him. You can't keep.
He doesn't have enough confidence in my opinion. And I'm not like the best. Like I'm not an NFL analyst or anything like that, but he doesn't have the confidence to beat Allen in a playoff game. He doesn't have the confidence to beat the Bills.
Right. I mean, Fitzpatrick was the only one close enough.
He doesn't, dude. If your fucking coach benches you twice in a year, how much confidence are you going to have? Your confidence is going to be pretty fucking low. You're going to be like, you know what? If he doesn't give a fuck about my career, I don't give a fuck about the Dolphins. So, I can't see it. I can't see him like be able to fucking outthrow him.
Yeah. What were we gonna say, Britt?
No, I feel like touching on what Adam was saying, I feel like there was a mood shift with the whole team when he was benched as well.
Yeah, like the whole fucking team hated the coach for benching him.
Yeah, but I think personally, because Brittany and I were watching the Dolphins game on Saturday because I wanted to see if the Dolphins choked against the Raiders. But in reality, we were both looking at the last minute and like 50 seconds. Brittany said something really interesting to me. She said that when the Raiders were up by a touchdown or by a field goal, whatever the estimate number was, and there was 1:50 left on the clock, and the Raiders had no timeouts left to go, and they took that stupid penalty, that face mask penalty on Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it just sets the Dolphins up to say, here, take our season away. We don't want to suffer anymore. And then the next thing you know, boom, here comes Jason Sanders, kicks the field goal, and just pretty much puts the Raiders out of the misery. And the Dolphins right now are just hanging by a thread. Yeah. Because at this point, when you look at the 5 AFC teams, you have Indianapolis, Miami, Cleveland, what was the other one? Baltimore. And there was another one in there. I'm trying to think. Tennessee. So all 5 of these teams have at least a shot to make the playoffs. God forbid. I mean, I think if anybody is going to get eliminated in this situation, it's probably going to be Miami. And then Indianapolis probably gets in. And then Tennessee wins the division. And then so on and so forth. So, there again, 5 teams have to make the playoffs. And I think there's like 2 or 3 spots. And there's 1 wild card spot. So everybody is hanging by a thread for anybody that's basically trying to make it into the playoffs. And whoever that team is that gets the 7th seed, that team is going to end up playing Buffalo in the first round.
Mm-hmm. And here's
Yeah,
the
but I
here's
would-
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
Oh no, I'm saying I wouldn't underestimate Miami this year. They're playing hungry. They're playing to win. So that's another reason why I think the Bills should play all their starters next week for Week 17.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to have. They gotta win. They have no choice.
Yeah. And if they lose, then they get the number 3 seed. And I'm going to look up the sheet right now just to kind of give you guys an estimate of who stands where as far as the playoff picture goes. So just give me a second and I'll tell you what's going on.
I'm just saying, like in my mind, like you got to think though that if the Bills are beating up on the Dolphins and say like say the game's like 38-9, like the Pats game or whatever, and they decide to start getting dirty, start charging your quarterback, and start trying to fucking hurt people, that's where you fucking don't want Josh Allen in the fucking game.
Right. And to answer your question, if Buffalo gets the number 3 seed, their first round opponent at this point is Baltimore.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play them. I'd play the second. I'd take the 2nd seed.
Yeah, that's why Brittany brings up the point of bringing up the starters. So if they beat Miami, they'll play either Cleveland or Indianapolis. I mean, hell, they may very well not even play their starters. And God forbid, the Bengals might end up winning that game. So there's going to be a lot of uncertainty going into the playoffs today. So if the seeding was final, as of today, Buffalo would play Cleveland, Pittsburgh would play Baltimore, and Tennessee would play Miami.
I'd rather see Pittsburgh play Baltimore in that scenario because them 2 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I love
I
that
agree
matchup
with
between
that.
them. But
To me, in my mind, I'd rather see Buffalo play the Browns
Yeah,
and
same
beat
here.
the fucking shit out of them.
Yeah. And as for the NFC, if the playoffs started today, the Saints would be playing the Bears, and then the Seahawks would play the Rams, and then the Buccaneers would play the Washington No-Names.
Oh God.
So the Saints are going to fucking be in the finals. So the Saints are going to be in the Super Bowl, in my mind.
But the Cardinals could very well win the game on Sunday because Kyler Murray said he's going to play.
Right.
And if the Bears lose to the Packers, then the Cardinals get in, and they play the Saints.
Anyway, in my mind, I think the Saints are going to the Super Bowl.
We'll see.
They definitely have enough talent on that team to do it.
And they got Drew Brees. And I think Drew Brees is like the last good year.
Yeah, this is probably it for Drew Brees at this point. That's what I think. But I think regardless, though, there's going to be a lot of excitement and a lot of uncertainty because Brittany and myself are going to be looking at the AFC picture after the Bills game, and we're going to look at it even at the 425 games because there's still some playoff games in contention that still have to play after 4:30, and we're going to probably digest all this crap throughout the afternoon on Sunday, and we're going to probably just look at each other and be like, oh, great, who do the Bills want to play next? And it's like, I'm pretty confident. I mean, I'm going to ask Brittany, and then I'm going to ask everyone else. I said to Brittany that I firmly believe if everything goes according to plan, because some teams are resting their starters, some teams aren't, it's my belief that the Bills are going to play the Colts in the first round.
I don't mind that matchup. I really don't. But the thing that we have to watch for, though, I mean, Indy doesn't have a bad running game. The thing is, though, their pass game, I mean, really, who do they have? I mean, besides Rivers and you have T.Y. Hilton, I mean, who else do you have?
You also have Michael Pittman. You have Jack Doyle. You have the Colts have a pretty good offense, but their O-line has completely shattered at this point because they just lost 2 of their linemen today. I think they lost Robert Costanzo to surgery. He's done for the playoffs if they make it. And then, Indianapolis is in a pretty rough situation, but they're going to play Jacksonville. So that should be a win right there for them.
Right.
But Cleveland plays Pittsburgh, Miami plays Buffalo, and Baltimore plays Cincinnati. And then Tennessee plays Houston.
Here's my opinion on the matter. I don't think you guys want to play the Colts. And I'm saying this because there's always that fucking one game that the Colts could come out fucking firing, and they have this season. Philip Rivers has been good at certain points this season, and when he's good, he's fucking good. So, like, I'd rather take the Browns or the Dolphins over the Colts any day.
We'll see. So you think the Browns or the Dolphins? But like, if you had to pick one, who are you the most confident that they would play?
The Browns.
Browns. Brittany, what do you think?
Well, I definitely don't want to play Baltimore. So I would have to go with the Browns, honestly.
Browns?
Yeah,
What about you?
I take the Browns in the first round matchup, hands down.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I got Browns also.
So pretty much everybody besides myself, everyone
The
was playing the
Canadian
Browns.
was right. The Canadian was right. Holy fuck! Look at that.
Oh, how ironic.
Hey, but let me go back to the AFC part thing though. I've been hearing talks and rumors that I've been hearing talks that even the team that finishes 11-5 won't make it to the playoffs. That's how good the AFC is this season.
Well, yeah, the AFC is going to only get stronger after this year. I mean, it's a good start. You have Pittsburgh, you have Kansas City, you have Buffalo, you have Tennessee. Baltimore is a mixed bag this year because I think with the Ravens, everybody started to figure out Lamar Jackson. Because if you remember last year, he won the league MVP. Nobody figured him out except for the Titans.
Mhm.
And if the Titans didn't figure him out, the Ravens probably would have won the Super Bowl.
Right.
But because they didn't have that much going, and Lamar Jackson is a pretty inaccurate passer, and he's only good to be the second coming of Michael Vick, you have a little bit of a run game that you have to kind of deal with because Baltimore tries to build around Jackson. They don't have a number one wide receiver, like a go-to wide receiver. They don't have that Stephon Diggs. They don't have that Julio Jones. So the Ravens are going to struggle a little bit on offense because of this. So I think with everything going on now, even if the Bills are forced to play the Ravens in the first round, I think alone they can contain Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely. I mean, take a look at what we did last season against the Ravens when we ended up playing them, and we were the only team that literally was able to contain Lamar Jackson all game. Even though we lost that game, we were the only team that was actually able to handle him without any issue.
Well, that's my point, because if they're able to contain him and other teams picked up from that Baltimore game last year, because other teams across the world saw this and they're like, let's look at the playbook. Where does he get his strengths? Where does he get his weaknesses? And next, everybody's just pretty much just examining him as a modern Michael Vick. So they're just running at this point with Lamar Jackson, because that's the only good thing about Baltimore is the fact that they have a good offensive game because of Jackson. If this was another quarterback, the Ravens would be mediocre at best. And I don't know if Jackson will be asked to be the go-to guy going forward. Because, again, I think Lamar Jackson's good, but he's not as good as someone like Josh Allen who could both pass and run. And Jackson is just a straight-up runner.
Yeah.
And that's a major impact that the Bills are going to have to take on if they play Baltimore in the first round.
Well,
but
yeah, and plus the Bills, you got to remember from last year too. I mean, the offensive line has been upgraded, the defensive line has been upgraded. So I mean, on top of the fact that we were almost able to take them last season, I mean, this season I don't see any issue with that.
I don't either. And you know what? I welcome it. I honestly would welcome Baltimore to Buffalo in January.
Good test. Definitely a good test.
Well, we move on to okay, well, how would we move on to the World Juniors here?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go around the table here. I'm going to ask who, in their opinion, is going to win the World Juniors. So, Bobby, what's your opinion on the matter?
Canada.
Brittany?
I haven't been following hockey, so I don't know if I have an opinion after we're done talking about football, to be completely honest.
World Juniors, though. Who do you think? What country?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Just say Canada.
Well, definitely not. Who did Canada play the other day?
I think it was Slovakia.
No, they played Slovakia and they played Switzerland. They beat Slovakia, they beat Switzerland 10-0. They beat Germany 16-2.
All right, so it's not Germany. That's my opinion, not Germany.
There you go. It's a good opinion. Tom?
I gotta say, Canada, they're pretty stacked from end to end.
Anybody else have an opinion?
Well, I'm not. Well, obviously, I'm not into hockey as much, but I'm just gonna go with what everybody else says. I'm just say Canada.
Just say Green. Just say Greenland. Just say Greenland.
Oh, Canada. Yeah.
Newfoundland.
Yeah, Newfoundland.
Yep. All right, we have
Quebec.
Yeah. It's being reported that the Jets are expected to fire Adam Gase after Sunday.
Beautiful.
Took them long enough.
God damn
seriously.
it. God
Yeesh.
damn.
Right. And actually, here's one thing for you guys too. Anyone that's been watching on the YouTube stream, but the Simpsons have accurately predicted the crowd again. Basically, with the social distancing.
What did they predict now?
They showed like the social distancing in the stadium with Homer showing up as a Bills fan.
Well, that's
oh my God.
Yeah,
Come on, Simpson, stop it.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
Yeah,
Gary
that
Crumber,
meme,
stop your shit.
yeah, that meme is like 15 years old. Like, yes. Oh, one other thing too is that I want to say this as well, Adam. Fun fact: Homer Simpson is a Carolina Panthers fan.
Yeah, he is. That a boy, Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find it ironic that he also roots for the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
Okay, now.
Oh, so he's like a combination of Bobby and Adam.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, and if you go on,
Oh, Bobby, you little fuck you.
Adam, are you still gonna take him for a week?
I'll take him as long as you send him with a leash and food.
No, he can get his own food.
Okay, we'll send him with a leash at least.
All right, I'll ship him up there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a joke on the Simpsons, Adam, by the way. There's actually two of them. There's one about where I think Homer Simpson I don't watch The Simpsons, but I saw this clip many years ago, and I remember it on the back of my head. And it was Homer Simpson was talking about credit cards. And he's like, yeah, I got a Visa credit card and everything. And he's like, yeah, if you want me to show you, I have a Carolina Panthers credit card. And he's like, pounds of guys like, Panthers! And then the other one, it's so odd. I have to show you that. And then there's another.
Oh my God, you got to! I've never seen that.
I have to show you it. And then the other one is that because he's Jew, part Catholic, part Jewish, I don't know. And he falls into a truck, and he falls into a truck full of yarmulkes, and then he's like, Messiah away! And he just jumps in, and then once he like gets conscious and he's walking around, and he's like, this is what it says Carolina Panthers, and he wears it on his head, and it's like Messiah said, wow.
Come on, Simpsons, protect the Carolina Panthers Super Bowl. Come on. Fuck's sakes.
That actually came out before the Panthers went to the Super Bowl, like within like 5-6 years before that. So.
And actually, thanks to Brian Mazurowski for putting that meme up, because I just went ahead and retweeted that for everybody on Twitter. But actually, anyone who is following us on the Facebook page, I just went ahead and put it up also. So that's just what we ended up talking about, how they're showing the social distancing between the Bills fans.
Yeah.
Oh, Simpsons, goddamn.
Yeah. Oh, and one more thing. Yeah, and one more thing. The Bills' opponents for 2021 came out on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about that.
All right. So I'm going to give it on. I'm going to let Brittany start off with this because I want to read the opponents and I want her opinion on this. We're going to start with the home games. And the home opponents are obviously the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots. But everything changes with the home games. It's the Falcons, the Panthers, the Texans, the Colts, and the Steelers. Well, I'm asking Brittany.
What am I supposed to say?
Well, do you have an opinion on it?
On if they're going to win their home game?
No. I'm asking you. What do you think of the strength of the opponents?
Can you say it one more time?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm listening and I'm also doing work at the same time.
That's all good. Miami, New England, the New York Jets, the Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those are all of the opponents for the home games next year for the Bills.
Oh, okay. Well, going into this season, I think the Steelers, they might put up a little bit of fight, and then Who was the third to last one you said?
Houston and Indianapolis.
No, I'm just feeling the Steelers. I feel like everybody else would be a W.
Probably. I mean, we'll see. And then Sean, this one's for you. Yeah, and Sean, this one's for you. Miami, New England, the New York Jets, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, and Kansas City.
Oh, got the Chiefs again. Oh man. Let's see. Honestly, the only 3 good competitions out of that are the Saints, Buccaneers, and Chiefs.
Saints, Bucks, and Chiefs?
Yeah.
So you think those are W's?
No, I think I honestly, I think they might be L's. Might be.
We'll see next year when the schedule comes out.
I'm hoping for a W, especially in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we'll find out the revealing of the schedule in either April or May. We'll find out down the road.
I have my opinion on this matter.
Yeah, go for it.
You guys will go like literally have the same exact season you had this year, probably 1 win better, but the Panthers are going to beat your ass, bud. They're going to fucking beat your ass now.
Imagine.
I was going to say, the home schedule is pretty straightforward. I mean, Miami, we should have no problem beating. Patriots, we just whipped their ass all season long. The Jets are not going to do anything better than what they did this season. Well, they'll actually probably win some more games, but they're not going to win against us.
And the Falcons are going to choke again like they did all season.
Yep.
Really?
Texans are a dumpster fire. I mean, Pittsburgh will definitely put up a test, and I think Indy is the only one that will put up a test on that. I mean, Miami is actually a better team than they were, but I mean, still a fairly straightforward win. On the road schedule, though, we got to remember this season, Tennessee ended up destroying us in Tennessee when we were down there, and that was all with the whole rescheduling the game 5 times in 1 week.
Yeah, the whole COVID crap.
Yeah. Kansas City, that'll be a test, of course, and then New Orleans. It just depends on how they play next year and what they're going to have. If Breeze is still around or if he's not around. Tampa Bay could be a crapshoot too, but I mean, Tampa Bay, honestly, they're not as good as a team as what some people may think they are. I mean, they barely got into the playoffs basically, and then Brady can't do half of what he did with New England. And the thing is that if he were on New England this year versus where he was with Tampa Bay, I mean, New England had like no offense. Tampa goes out and they get some offense, and yet they still don't have a great record.
Yeah, a washed-up Tom Brady, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's at the end of his prime. He's not washed up. He's just at the end of his prime. He's not what he was 15 years ago.
No.
Yeah, I think he's still got like maybe 1 or 2 seasons left in him.
Yeah, it's like Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton's going to bow out after like maybe 1 to 2 more years. I think what's his name? The Steelers. He's going to fucking bow out.
Yeah, Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger's heading hard.
Ben's going to be out. Like, there's so many quarterbacks. Rivers is like not really relevant, but he's going to be retired.
Yeah,
there's going to be a bunch of quarterbacks leaving.
Yeah, Roethlisberger may or may not stay with Pittsburgh, so we'll see what happens. And yes, I just found the meme of Homer Simpson at the Bills game.
Yeah. That's great, isn't it?
Great predictions.
Goddamn time travelers! Stop doing that shit. It's freaky.
I'm actually hoping to go to. I'm actually hoping to go to a few of these games because I gotta travel, man. Like holy crap.
Yeah, dude. I would love for the 5 of us next year to go to the Bills Panthers game.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
I can sit there like and be like the only fucking Panthers fan in the fucking stadium and be like laughed at because we get blown the fuck right out.
It was like that when I went with Bobby almost 2 years ago to that New Islanders Sabres game down in Nassau. And basically it was funny because when we had the whole Swedish media incident we talked about on the show a couple times, but just walking around the concourse with that sign that said Fire Housley, I mean, there was just
my God.
There were some hilarious things that the fans were
lucky you didn't get mobbed.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I hardly got mobbed, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there were some Sabres fans that actually posed with us and took pictures because they love the sign so much. And then we had people say, "Go back to Canada."
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Devin,
I
you
have
thought you were from
several
Canada?
times.
Yeah, and Brittany remembers this too. She went with us.
Yeah, I'm like, are you stupid? You know where Buffalo is? It's not in Canada.
Like, how the fuck do you think that is Canada? Everybody blames Canada for fucking stupid shit that doesn't even involve us.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
You remember geography.
Yeah, she gets really mad when people interpret the geography of Buffalo wrong. Like, we're not from Buffalo by any means, but like when people say Buffalo is in Canada, people just assume that the Bills are or the Sabres for that matter are the only Canadian teams next to the Leafs. I'm like, they're not even anywhere near there. They're like really
fucking
it's
stupid
2 hours
Americans to say shit like that.
Right.
Yeah, because I went to a Sabres Island game many years ago, and I was chanting, "Let's go Buffalo!" And then somebody shouts, "Buffalo's in Canada!"
You literally say, like, my God, man, like, have you ever done, like, geography in your fucking school? Oh, actually, have you went to school in your fucking life to realize that Buffalo's nowhere in Canada?
Yeah, and my favorite one, this one nobody talks about, but I think it's appropriate that we actually bring this up, and it actually bothers the hell out of me because it's so accurate, is that people don't talk about the state of Michigan being on the border of Winnipeg, and nobody talks about that. And it's like, if you'll be saying, like, go Wings, and then next thing you know, Detroit's in Canada!
Well, you do know that Detroit is on the other. Well, Ontario is across the river. That's Windsor, dude.
Yeah, Minnesota too. Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota is on the border of Manitoba.
Where I live in Sarnia, Ontario, it's like the border town to Port Huron, Michigan. Literally, if you go across the border, which is like 2 minutes away from me, I can drive to Detroit in 2 hours, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
See, there you go. Point proven.
So close. But it's not in Canada. It's on the other side of the fucking border. Plus, I talked to a guy one time in Washington State, okay? I'm not even joking. This is like a legit conversation I had. I was standing in Washington State. I was just talking to this random guy, asking for directions. And I was like, hey, man, do you know how to get to, like, I was hungry. And I was like, hey, man, do you know how to get to, like, somewhere to eat, like, close by? And he's like, yeah, sure. He's like, oh, you sound Canadian. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Canadian. He's like, oh, you don't say eh? I'm like, no, we actually don't say that too much. It's like a fucking stereotype, and everyone thinks that, every sentence we say eh has an A on the end of it, but we don't do that. And then he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, so is it true you guys have some weird laws up there? And I'm like, what do you mean by weird laws? So he started like rambling on, but these random stupid things. And I was like, man, by the way, do you realize like last week we literally just passed a law that's really important to Canada? And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, we legalized staplers.
What?
And he's like, oh, really? You legalized staplers? Like, we had staplers for years. Like, yeah, man, we thought they were dangerous weapons, so we just legalized them last week.
Oh, God.
And he was like, legit. He was just like, oh, okay, geez, that's good to know. Like, at least you got some staplers now. I'm like, yeah.
Wait, that makes no sense at all. Like, I get where the argument is, but like, seriously?
Dude, there's literally a show, and it's Rick Mercer, and it's called Talking to Americans. And it's literally a Canadian guy that's in the States saying random shit like, oh, like making Americans say this on live TV, going, congratulations, Canada, on going to the 24-hour clock. Or congratulations, Canada, on having your, like, making houses that aren't igloos. Like, Americans actually legit, like, some Americans actually legit believe that we still live in igloos, that we don't have a 24-hour clock, and we hadn't legalized staplers yet.
Wow.
And I was like, man, I literally had to learn American history in school. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, and in school, none of us, including myself and Brittany, none of us had to learn about the history of Canada, like prime ministers and stuff like that. We learned about the basics, like there's polar bears, there's other animals, and there's hockey, and then
No, we learned about how Canada affected America in its upbringing. That's all we learned. How things affected America. That's what we learned about.
You know what you really want to do to offend an American? All you got to say is like, just remember back in 1812, we stormed your White House and burned it.
Yeah, I remember this.
Canada literally said, you know what? You're going to fuck around and try to invade Canada? Because if anybody doesn't know, back in 1812, the Americans thought it was a good idea to storm the Canadian border and try to take over Canadian provinces. And what they wanted was the Lake Ontario, basically. They want all the fucking Great Lakes. And then Canada was just like, fuck you guys. And we were still like part of Britain at the time. And we're just like, you know what? Dude, you ain't fucking taking our shit. And then you guys decided you're going to come on in and storm our shit. And we're like, oh, you know what? We're going to fuck your shit up. And we came into America and we came into Washington. We're like, okay, we're going to burn your White House down. And we did that.
There you go.
Silence.
Yeah, it's like all the Americans are all silent now because the Canadians just pissed you off.
I'm not pissed. I mean, that already happened.
Fact. Look at history facts, man. It fucking happened. Don't piss us off again.
Right.
I mean, who knows? They may want you to burn the White House down, but
No, I can do
I
it.
don't know.
I mean, I've always said before that I love Canadian people.
Yeah, we're friendly if he pisses off.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
Bobby would move to Toronto if he could.
What?
Bobby would move to Toronto if he could.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You asked me. You're like, do you want to move to Toronto?
You're right.
Oh
No,
my
I said
God, Bobby.
And I said no.
Why though? I mean, you get to hang out with Adam.
You want to be a Canuck, eh? You want to be a Canadian Canuck, eh? You want to fucking move to the Great North, eh?
Yeah, eh?
I don't want to live in Canada.
Why? Because it's cold?
Cold there in Buffalo.
No, I just don't want to move outside the country.
So you'll visit there, but you won't move there.
Yes.
It's just, well, you know what? I have to respect her opinion because I wouldn't move to America. I'd visit, but I wouldn't have moved there.
Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Toronto's a cute little city. I'll give it
Cute
that.
little city. That's our biggest city.
It's cute.
3 million people.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty.
Don't say small little city. That's literally our biggest city.
Right. Although actually, Bobby and Brittany, you guys remember back last October when we ended up going to Maple Leaf Gardens when we were up there.
Yes.
And you actually got to see
Wait,
where
was that
Center
the
Ice used to be.
You should have just came 3 hours more further. You would have fucking met me.
Well, we didn't know where you were at the time.
Well, I wasn't like in Sarnia at that time. I was still on a army base in Halifax. So.
Well, we couldn't enter it, so.
Well, obviously not. Obviously not, Bobby. Obviously.
So actually,
I mean, I would go back to Canada, but I would like to see a different section of Canada.
Okay, let's go.
Newfoundland.
Yes, Adam has to take us to Newfoundland.
Yeah.
St. John's, Newfoundland.
What festivals do you have? What block party?
The George Street Festival.
George Street Festival. Yes.
Why don't
during
you
that time?
They literally have the most bars per capita in North America and one street.
Bars?
Yeah, like bars. Just bars everywhere.
Right.
Oh. Well, Bobby, remember the time we went to Ireland and they had when we were in Kilkenny?
Yeah, I remember
one
that.
street we went bar hopping to like 5 different bars.
Yeah, you and I were probably drunk. Well, you were more drunk than I was.
No. No.
Yes. We went to Killarney and we went to all these bars and then we had to be home at a certain time because we were moving over to another city.
Yeah, but you have like 2 beers.
That's not true at all. I had like
He's such a lightweight though. He's probably like passing out at that point.
We were taking random pictures in the street.
I mean, I could see him if he drank like an 8.5% beer like I did last week.
No, we were drinking Guinness.
Yeah, see, dude, for Bobby, all it would take is like literally 3 Bud Light, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so drunk."
No, but we're fun when we get drunk together, right? We had fun in Kilkenny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what, too? Is that you're actually fun when you're drunk.
Yes, I am. I'm a fun drunk.
Yeah.
I get emotional, though. I get emotional when I have liquor.
Yeah.
But when I drink beer, I'm fun.
I know what you do. You get emotional, you mope for a couple of hours, and then when you finally settle down, you puke on the toilet.
Hey.
That was one time, and I put vodka in wine on 4th of July after taking shots.
No, that's not even close to that. You had it was. No, it was not. You had more than one occasion on this.
You want to fight me on this?
I'm not fighting.
That was the only time.
No, not even.
Bobby, this is not marriage counseling.
No, it's not.
In fact, actually, you know what? That leads me into another segment here. You want fighting music? Here we go.
You guys kept sleeping, and now I'm back for part 2. 11-3, and now you want to be a part of it. Everybody doubted, but we never regarded it. I warned you in April, told you we were coming different. Allen Jakes 2020, yeah, we feeling significant. Even Pro Football Focus had something to say. Now we breaking all these records like it's just another day. Let them do the dance, and we talked our play. Got the best culture live, Sean, take it away. And I told you Belichick couldn't do it alone. AFC East chance, baby, give us the throne. D stay locked, cause we stay in the zone. BC Poyer, Hyde, White, everybody is shown. And we beating all these teams that you never expected. Josh bossed up, so you gotta respect it. Got the most loyal fans, man, I'm telling you, check it. It's a tight-knit city, yeah, we keep it connected. 4 for the ones who close the door. It's 4 we lose and ask for more, so we breaking the score. 3, you know you can't disagree, cause we killing on the comp like it's 3rd degree. 2, to always rep the red and blue. If they say that we can't, we make sure we do. 1, a reminder that we just begun. Yeah, you know what we say, baby, 1 not done. Run it up, Mafia. You guys kept sleeping, and now I'm back.
And guess what? She's coming on our show. So we're going to have her on over the next couple weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So we just got to get the dates all set. But other than that, I mean, I'll tell you one thing, man. She rapped some pretty damn good stuff right there.
That's fucking some.
Wow.
I wish I was able to understand what she was saying, but it sounded really good.
I can understand.
Yeah, she was spitting fire.
I could literally
It was
understand.
good.
Yeah, man, it was glitchy for me. But it sounded good.
Bobby.
Some parts I understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that went viral like a couple days ago. She was actually on the local news for it.
That was more fluent than me feeding a baby llama. I mean, a lamb in Ireland. Remember
Bobby,
that?
your explanations are so stupid. Shut up.
Yeah, your hair is stupid. Let's put it that way.
Brittany, work on his comebacks, please.
I've been trying, dude. I've been trying.
Yeah,
For 6 years.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, but it'll be good though. We'll have Haley on in the near future. We're just getting some dates set up so we can get her on here. But we reached out and she said yes, she would love to. So we'll bring her on.
Yeah, if she needs a date, I'm here.
Dude, you gotta remember though, she's not 18.
Oh Jesus. Okay, never mind.
She's older than
Scratch
you.
up in the record.
Wait, what? How old is she?
She's like a high school senior.
Seriously?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, okay, scratch that from the record, please.
But I'll tell you one thing though, it's like just listening to the rap and everything she put together. That was pretty sweet.
Wait, was that freestyle that she did?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's not too shabby.
Yeah,
No, not at all.
definitely gifted on that
Uh,
for sure.
but I think we're gonna have fun with her next week on the show.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So definitely she's always welcome to come on whenever she wants. So that's a great thing. Well, the funny thing is
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I hope
Yeah.
you let her know ahead of time. Like, sometimes we're like pretty, like, how it is.
Oh yeah, that's all good though.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
And Bobby's a piece of poo, so.
Yeah, and you're a poo. Let's put it that way.
Hey, Brittany, I didn't formally thank you yet for the beautiful Christmas gift you guys sent me.
Oh, you like the gifties?
Oh my God, I loved it.
Good. Which I tried to find you like a giant American flag so you could hang it outside and be like that person, but I couldn't find one. I asked I went to Home Depot a couple times. They said no, we don't have flags, and I'm like, Bobby, how many stores did we go to? And I asked for flags.
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and they didn't have any like giant flags, so I had to get you a baby one. But I'm gonna send you a big one. So you could be that person.
I literally have it hung outside next to my Canadian flag, mini flag.
You have to send a picture.
I will.
And the candles smell like Christmas.
Yeah, I've already lit it.
Okay.
Multiple times.
And she always says her favorite word, ate 'em.
It's ate 'em. It's not Adam, it's ate 'em.
Yeah, she says that quite often. She always says it with so much enthusiasm. Eat 'em.
Because he's my favorite Canadian.
Yeah,
Bobby, shut up. Because he's my favorite American. You're just jealous.
Yeah, he's only your favorite Canadian because that's the only one you've ever met. Oh.
So it doesn't change anything. I could meet other Canadians and I could be like, well, you're not my favorite because Adam's my favorite, so.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Bobby, are you jealous, Bobby? Like, it's okay, buddy. You need a hug.
I'm not jealous, I promise.
Yeah, HQ, welcome aboard with Jonathan Jones. I'm Eric Casillia.
So I was looking through just to see if anything's different on the Kenny Stills news right now, and there's no new updates on it.
Kenny Stills not getting signed until at least either tomorrow or Saturday, because there is a mutual verbal agreement with the two. Yep. And if Stills agrees to play for the Bills, he'll probably play on Sunday against Miami.
Right. And then
I think he will. Why wouldn't he, man? They got a franchise QB like fucking Josh Allen throwing you the ball, possibly, if he doesn't throw to Diggs the whole game.
I find it ironic he went from freaking Jay Cutler to Deshaun Watson to Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm. It'd just be funny because, like, playing the Dolphins, you'd be like, the number one thing they're going to be looking for is Josh Allen and Diggs. And so if you just center your whole play around fucking cover and Diggs, where you think you're going to throw the ball and you throw it to fucking Stills, and then he like gets all the yardage, it'd be hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, so okay. So apparently, according to SB Nation, it does sound like the Buffalo Bills have indeed signed Kenny Stills.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you know how I know he's excited to go to Buffalo is because he actually posted an edit of himself in a Bills jersey wearing the number 84.
That's fucking cocky.
He already knew.
So he probably knows already. But listen, I would not mind him on the Bills at all. I mean, if anybody was going to wear the number 84 but chose not to go, is Antonio Brown.
Well, good. AB doesn't deserve to be here.
I'm glad he didn't.
Well, I mean, remember when we went to Buffalo, Britt, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago with Tom, and then Antonio Brown got cut by the Patriots, and then he had the whole saga with the Raiders.
Oh yeah, we
that was literally a year ago.
Yeah,
we were there in September.
I remember that. We did a YouTube video in my Jeep about that.
Oh yes, that was after we got pizza and wings at the place.
We went to Imperial, and actually one of Bobby's friends from the old NHL 365 days found him in the place.
And then
oh my god, Bobby felt so famous. One person recognized him. Was like, "Can I have a picture with you?"
Yeah,
from the old page.
Yeah, that was from the old page. Guys, like, you're that dude Bobby Hansen is. Like, can I get a picture with you? He was like all like, he was like kissing his ass and everything.
I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, and then Bobby didn't even ask his name. Bobby's like, oh yeah, I on his next video, he's like, I met someone in Buffalo, and I'm like, you didn't even ask the guy's name. You just said, oh, I met this guy. Like, how impersonal is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't have that kind of memory where I meet somebody.
No, but you didn't even ask him when you're like, oh, can I have a picture? Like, "Oh, you're Bob Hansen." You're like, "Oh, what's your name?" You didn't even ask that. You're just like, "Sure, get a picture," and you left. How rude.
Well, first off, I forgot about the guy. Second, I kind of recognized him, but I forgot his name. And third, I was with you, and I was with
How
Tom.
did you forget his name? You didn't even ask for it.
You're right, because most people don't tend to remember people's names when they acquaint people on a certain occasion.
Sir, when
It's
someone
funny, you know.
says, "I want to take a picture with you," and they're excited about taking a picture with you, you ask like, "Oh, what's your name? I'll shout you out my next video." No, you just diddly squat.
Sorry, I've never done that before, let alone I didn't expect it. I mean, I'm not fucking Michael Jackson.
Dude,
God.
it's not
You
any
ruined your
different.
one
Like
chance.
when I was like still on the page for 365, I was going through the fucking. We had like a bunch of fans like on the page from like my local area and stuff. So this one lady that was like a fan of the page, she had two kids, two boys, 8 and 10 or whatever, and they paid attention to the page apparently. And one day I was in Walmart here in Sarnia, and they came up and they're like, literally one of them came up, ran up, and he's like, "Oh, you're that forever Leafy guy," and I'm just like, "Who the?" I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, How do you know who I am? And they're just like, "Oh, I watch your page. You're like a host on that 365 page," and the kids are like going wild, and I'm just like, you know what? This is the one time in life I'm gonna get a chance to say, "Here's my autograph." And the kids were like so pumped about it. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna eat this up. And the mom was hot, and I was like, oh yeah, it's just even better. So
Yeah. Although actually, this like the whole thing, like now we're talking about like people that we've run into. I remember actually a couple times that a fan from our old, from the old Buffalo Sabres Blue and Gold Mafia page that we ran for 5 years. This one fan actually saw me, and he was actually one of those receipt checkers that they have at BJ's Wholesale Club up here. So and Adam, it's like equivalent to Costco up by you, but he ended up like seeing me and he's like, "You're that guy from Blue and Gold Mafia, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so we ended up having like a 20-minute long conversation, probably like before I even got in the door. Then I think we had like another 20-minute long conversation when I was leaving after he checked all my stuff. And then he ended up like seeing me a couple other times too. So it was definitely interesting, to see that and kind of go from there. And then Matt, I know you got to take off, so we'll let you go, and we'll finish up in a few minutes here. But I definitely want to say, man, Happy New Year. Hope you're doing good down in Atlanta, and we'll definitely talk to you on the next show.
Yeah,
All right,
definitely.
happy New Year, Flubber Matt.
Happy New Year.
Whatever.
Happy New Year,
Uh,
back.
See ya,
Happy
man.
New Year, guys.
All right, man.
Flubber. See you later.
Yep. So yeah, we'll go for a little bit still, but it was kind of funny though. It's like how that actually happened, like how the three of us have had those encounters with some different people, and each in different ways. So it's pretty neat.
It's weird because like I remember like when we had the page going, it was like going strong at that point, and I was getting like messages from people that I remember talking to Bobby about this, about like they were watching our podcast, and they were like literally the only thing they were like looking at was the fact that the arguments between me and Bobby were the funniest part to them was the fact that me and Bobby were like just going back and forth the whole fucking thing. And like I've had a few people say like at the time it was me and Bobby, like, oh, they're like, you and Bobby make the page. You guys are the funniest duo. You guys are like, you guys are the best, blah, blah. And I also had like a few people messaging me like, hey, do you want to hook up and stuff? So I was like, I was loving it. It was great. It was it was a good time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and we had and definitely like on our old stuff, we had some good things going for a long time also, and then really I think what happened on our end with Blue and Gold Mafia, what killed us was that other page coming in, and I'm not gonna name them on here just for the sake of actually being
Front Report. The name was called Front Report. There, I saved you some energy.
Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, there was just a lot of problems, and we ended up parting ways. And then basically from there, me and Bobby took like a year off just to kind of enjoy things. And then we ended up, from that point, we ended up relaunching as Wingsicle. We decided to shelve that, and then we decided, you know what, let's come back. So that's how it happened. And then with Blue and Gold, basically the owner of that page wasn't around for 5 years, so we ended up growing it like tenfold. And then he thought that we were making money off the page, which never happened. And it's just, it is what it is. We all left. We're like, hey, you think you're that good? Take the page. Then of course he blocked us after we told the truth that we didn't make anything, but he wanted to think what he thought, and I was like, okay. And then that page like lost like 8,000 subscribers.
Oh, dude, look at where 365 went. 365 went from me and Bobby handling it, and we had like I don't know how many thousand like subscribers, but like it went from that to like
I want to say you had almost 10.
A certain someone took it, and now it's coast to coast hockey fans. It's ran by the same person that fucking stole. Like we pretty much gave it to her. Like I pretty much gave it to her at the end and said, like, "Go fuck yourself."
Which was the dumbest thing you ever did, because that's why I even said don't even associate. And then that was the part where you were angry at me over a few differences, and then the next thing you know, you just kind of just went off on your own.
I just lost the time. I lost the time. I didn't have the time to do it anymore. And that certain someone like had more fucking time because all she does is sit in her ass all day and do nothing. And I'm at the time I was an enlisted man, so I had to like other things that I had to deal with. So like I couldn't deal with running a page. So I was like, you know what? If you fucking want it, shove it your fucking ass. I'm fucking done.
Wait, coast to coast hockey fans?
Yeah.
They have like just under 8,000 people.
Yeah, that's the same person that took away 365. She changed the name.
But they have like not a lot of interaction on posts.
Yeah, they have less interaction. They have less people than we had when we had it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
She lost a lot of support when especially when like we all left, and at the end when I said I left, I know that she lost 1,500 subscribers right off the hop when I left.
Right. Like I know when me and Bobby left Blue and Gold, I mean we had I think we had almost 12,000 when we were done with
something
everything.
Like that.
It was
Something
somewhere
like
around
that.
there. And then then we had our offshoot sites for a while. So I mean total we had almost probably closer to 18,000, 19,000 people. And then we shut down the offshoot sites like Next Wave and those other ones because just we didn't have a lot of traction on them and we just didn't have the time anymore. And then with Blue and Gold, literally once we left, I mean, they lost probably 70% of their subscribers within a month.
Well, that's what I mean. Like we left 360. I left 365 fucking years ago, and it's literally it's never recovered. It's literally worse than where I left it at. Like at any point, it should have been fucking 30,000, 40,000 fucking subscribers by now.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, but the cool thing is that even though we've gone through a couple of rebrands and done some different things, and now we've got the football going on now, we're talking all sports. I mean, literally a lot of the core people several of the core people we had actually stuck around. So, I mean, we're happy about that. And, those guys, we absolutely appreciate it. So, actually, Trainer ends up making a prediction. He thinks Canada's going to win the World Juniors. And then he was asking what everybody's thoughts are on the upcoming NHL season. And actually, Trainer, you got to come on the show one of these days.
Come on, you fuck. Get on the show.
Yeah, I came on. You got this.
For what, though?
More than I do.
What does he mean by for the upcoming NHL season? Like, who's going to win? Like, what division?
No, he's talking about, the season in general. Like, who's going to go to the playoffs and who's going to rape one team over the other in the finals.
All right, guys, I got to go. I have a thing to jump on real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Some work.
Well, thank you for the time. We appreciate you as a guest.
It was fun.
Yes, come on again.
Yeah, definitely.
Anytime,
Bobby, actually let me know when you're filming.
What?
I said, actually let me know when you're filming, maybe.
Yeah, Bobby, smart the fuck up.
Yeah, I know. I told you. I sent you an invite. You came on. So
if not, Brittany, I'll tell you next time. I'll tell you next time, Brittany.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Thanks.
No problem.
All right, bye, guys. Happy New Year.
You too.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
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 All right, Adam. So yeah, pick up where you left off.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to like the Canadian division, I'll say this. I'm going to say this with assurance that is the Leafs take first or second in the division. Uh, for the other divisions, for your division, say it's called the East Division. Is that what it's called?
I think so. I think they're all based off of the compass.
Yeah, so it's the East Division. I'm going to say, oh, fuck. I have to say Boston's first. I have to say, kind of feel like for a wild card spot on that one.
We'll see.
I kind of feel like they'd be fighting their way in, and if they have like a good season, like maybe they're fucking third, fourth at best. But I can't see it being like they're going to be like running the division. I think Boston will literally take the division hands down. The other divisions, I literally can't say. I don't know where Philly's going to end up. I think Philly will be like in the playoffs for sure, but I don't know where.
We'll find out down the road.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to make any predictions, but one of the things I'm kind of thinking of is that Eichel and Hall will probably have a pretty good season. Getting to play with their lines, and then just what I'm kind of thinking is that, and I'll make this prediction on the Canadian division. I think there is that little bit of potential that Montreal might actually make the playoffs.
I don't think Montreal's going to make it.
I welcome Montreal to come to the playoffs so we can destroy them.
Well, we'll find out who makes the playoffs down the road. Yeah. But for me, as far as the Canadian division goes, I think if I'm going to pick 4 teams to make the playoffs in the Canadian division, for me, it's going to be obviously Toronto. I'm going to say Calgary. I'm going to say Edmonton, and I'm going to say Ottawa. I think Vancouver misses it by a couple games.
I don't think it's that far off, actually.
Ottawa ain't happening. I'm fucking Stafford drugs.
Dude, the Senators are literally getting loaded right now. Did you see the trade they made the other night?
Yeah,
they're getting loaded with fucking bottom-ass fucking players, man.
For fuck's sake, they bring in more veterans than the Leafs have the entire offseason.
Oh, isn't the key not to bring in a bunch of veterans to fucking bring up a bottom-feeding team?
Well, Ottawa's not that much of a bottom feeder anymore at this point. They're literally trying to mimic what the Florida Panthers did 4 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever the number was, where they got all this cap and they can go get some big-name free agents or some in their mid-30s that are just there for the leadership respectively. Ottawa's not that terrible on paper if you look at it. They have a lot of players where they can pretty much look at the camp and they can say, okay, this is what we have, and this is what we can look at, and this is who could contribute to the team. That's what's going to happen to the Ottawa Senators throughout the season.
I'll be worried about it.
All right, you do whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, though, Tom, is Ottawa's not that terrible on paper, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah, they did make some good moves, and they needed to do that because, literally the last couple of seasons, they haven't really been that relevant. So, seeing where they're going and knowing that they're not as much hamstrung by the internal cap anymore, that's only going to help them.
Yeah, and I find it funny that Eugene Melnyk actually lived up to his promise when he said he was going to be willing to spend more around this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for Ottawa. I hate them with the passion, but good on Ottawa for Eugene Melnyk to keep up to his promise for one thing in his goddamn life.
Yeah, definitely. It's about time he needed to.
I don't know. I love the classic logo they brought in. I really do. I love that logo where it has the Spartan head. It looks like the New England Patriots logo a little bit. The classic. You know what I'm talking about with Heatley, Alfredson, Spezza, Lalim, Yashin, and all these people. That's who that logo reminds me of. But I remember looking at that logo as if it was 2003 when the Senators had the best team in the league that year and lost in the ECF to the Devils.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, I would say and then actually just on an unrelated thing too. I was kind of thinking of once they open up the border, like NHL cities, I would love to go and see a game at some point. And I mean, one of the things I would say, like top on my list right now, I would love to see a game at the Bell Center in Montreal, and I would love to see one over at Rogers' place out in Vancouver. Those would be my two cities I would want to go with.
For me, I'm going to say, as far as seeing a Canadian team, I'd love to see the Canucks in Vancouver. I would love to see them play, and I would love to see Ottawa.
No love for the Leafs, right?
Well, I've already seen a Leafs game.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's the most. If you ever been in a stadium, the Leaf Stadium during a playoff game, is literally the most electric fucking stadium you'll ever be in your fucking life.
I bet. I've been to plenty of playoff games at the Nassau Coliseum, and I can tell you, because it's so small and it's so antiquated, that place is ludicrous in the playoffs. Absolutely ludicrous. I've been to a lot of Islanders playoff games, and I can certainly tell you as a fact and as a resident that they actually rock the house. That place is rocking when it gets loud, especially in 2019 when they beat the Penguins in overtime in the first game when they swept them. That place went berserk.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was there with you when we saw the Sabres play there, I mean, that building was really loud when they ended up beating our ass. But it was, like, really loud in that building. It was kind of cool. It actually reminded me of the old Odd back in the day when the Sabres used to play there up until 1996. And, I mean, that place just got absolutely loud whenever we were playing well.
I literally seen a Leafs Boston playoff game a few years back, and like they do the whole like massive flag thing in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
So I happened to be, and the flag got wrapped around a bunch of people, and we couldn't get out of the fucking flag.
Oh jeez.
You mean like when they do the national anthem and all that?
Yeah, they have the flags like drafted over the crowd, so you like hold out the massive flags on both sides.
Yeah, I've seen that.
What happened was at the end of the flag, or like the last 3-4 rows, like they all fell down. He dragged the flag down, and when he dragged the flag down, he fucking pulled everyone else down. So it was like fucking 1,500 people like underneath the flag that couldn't get up. It was fucking hilarious.
Like, it's not hard. All you have to do is just, as it goes around the course, you just have to go under the flag and you just push it going forward. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, but the fucking last 3-4 rows fucked it up, and they fell on the flag and pulled over everyone else.
Good job.
It was funny because it was on the fucking on SportsNet or whatever as like a blooper. Because everyone fell down.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, though, when you look at the Canadian division, I'm thinking for the most part, Toronto will definitely make it. Who did I say before, Tom? I said Montreal, and I said Ottawa,
Calgary.
And Calgary, that's right.
Yeah.
But I really do believe Ottawa will make the playoffs. I really do believe this.
I mean,
I don't
definitely
know.
a possibility. I mean, they're looking a lot better on paper than they did last year.
Absolutely. There's no question.
Look as good as you want. Look on paper, man. You got to prove your fucking worth on the ice.
Very true.
I'm sure they will, but I'm not denying that they won't. I'm just saying, like, I think the Senators in general are a much better team than people give them credit for. I mean, they have a load of cap space. They had to get to the cap floor because Eugene Melnick's a cheap piece of shit. And, you know, with what they were able to work with, making that Derek Stepan trade, making that Cedric Paquette trade, that trade with Tampa just blew it out of the water. Now, because of that Gabbert trade, it opened up more cap space. And Ottawa was able to get Cedric Paquette like it was no problem at all. And then on top of all this, you also go out and get guys like fucking Evgeny Dandonov. You go out and get Austin Watson. You get Nate Thompson. The Ottawa Senators made a lot of moves. And it's almost so impossible to keep track of who they actually got. But, of course, you can't go without mentioning the Ottawa Senators on the current roster without Matt Murray.
You know what? I'm not discrediting anything you're saying. I'm just saying that if you're like putting Vancouver against Ottawa, in my mind, to make a playoff spot, I'm going to take Vancouver all day.
That's fine. But like I said, I think the Senators are much, much younger. And I think a lot of people are discrediting them because they've been such a shithole for a while now. They already ruined Erik Karlsson, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ruined Brady Tkachuk with this young core. They got a good prospect pool, but I don't know how far they're willing to go. That's my biggest thing with the Senators is as much as I don't like them, I truly do believe that the Ottawa Senators could be that up and coming juggernaut team like they were in 2003, even though it was a 1-year thing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I seen the thing the other day about one of the bold predictions for the Leaf season, or like two of the bold predictions, and one was Matthews wins the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but he was literally robbed last year of a 50-goal season because of COVID. He was at 47 goals when the season shut down. He literally could have surpassed that by far. And,
he definitely could. I mean, I don't know if he's going to overcome that because you have other great players in there. I saw one for the Richard Trophy. I saw one where they were predicting David Pastrnak to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, he was literally 1 point behind David Pastrnak last year. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think McDavid will ever win it. I think he'll be a points leader, but I don't think he'll ever be the Rocket Richard winner. I've even seen Al Ovechkin's name being brought up.
McDavid is like a Marner on steroids. Well, he's like a 5 times better player than Marner.
Well, obviously.
In the same position.
But is he better than Crosby?
McDavid?
Yes.
I don't know. It's too early to say, man. Like Crosby's been around for fucking years.
Yeah, we'll see how many cups McDavid wins, and then we'll make that determination.
I don't think he's gonna win too many. I don't think he's gonna be like Crosby. I don't think he's gonna be as consistent as Crosby. Points, yeah. Like he'll be up with Crosby in points, but I don't see him being like, the turn the franchise around like Crosby and Malkin duo. Him and Draisaitl are not gonna have the same duo.
Yeah,
as like franchise was.
I'm gonna say give it 3 years. Give it 3 years, and if Edmonton doesn't go anywhere, even if they make the playoffs every year, I would say if things don't go the way that they wanted to go with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, I guarantee you he's gonna go to Edmonton, even though he's got that monster contract where he has like 5 more years of, and he's gonna go to the Oilers and he's gonna say, "I want out of Edmonton. Please trade me." I guarantee he'll go to an American team. But at that time, when we get there, he's going to go to that team and he's going to compete for a cup.
Right. What would you think if the Sabres were actually able to pick up if we were actually able to pick up Connor McDavid?
I would be blown away, I would be blown away, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Right. I mean, they had a shot at it.
Not in a million fucking years would that ever happen.
Unless you trade like Jack Eichel, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
But
no. I can't see McDavid agreeing to go there.
Right. Yeah, but watch, like, with Crosby getting up there now, it's like, who knows? I mean, maybe you see the Capitals or maybe you see the Penguins try to make another play for someone like that.
We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could come out of it, but I don't know if
I can see the Capitals doing something like that, but I can't see the Buffalo Sabres be able to pull something else like that.
I think
that takes a lot of assets. It takes a lot of fucking players to get McDavid.
Absolutely. But I think, though, speaking of the Buffalo Sabres, I firmly believe that they're going to be one of the wild card teams. Like, they'll be on, like, a guest pass. Like, kind of like where the Bills were at a couple of years ago when they ended the playoff drought, when they played Jacksonville. I think that's where the Sabres are. If they're healthy and they get us number one starter, because they're not going to wait around forever for UPL, because that would be their biggest mistake.
Right.
But I think if they get a legit number one goalie, like, from, like, for instance, like, if they traded for, like, Elvis Merzlikins from Columbus or someone like that, someone that's a reliable goalie, a young mid-20-year-old goalie, and get him into the playoffs, I think the Sabres can actually make a pretty good attempt to make the playoffs. Give up a couple of
I don't think in the back of my mind that the Sabres are going to do that bad. At best, I think they'll be third in your division, but like you have to look at both ways. It's third at best. And then, like, you're fighting for the playoff spot. I don't think you'll be like everyone's predicting. Like, your guys are going to be 7, 8, plays.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. But you also have to look at this in consideration. Is that this worries me as well? Is the Islanders, because the Islanders, they have not signed Matt Barzal yet, and there's a report that in 2 weeks when the season starts, because he doesn't have a contract, he cannot play for the Islanders this year because of that's a big problem.
That's
it's a Nylander fucking problem. That's what I call that, the Nylander.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it gets to that point, and here's another problem, the Islanders have 2 contracts they can't get rid of. They have Andrew Ladd's contract, and they have Leo Komarov's contract. Both of them were signed by Garth Snow. So the Islanders have no breathing room
right, they're in cap
whatsoever. They're fucked. Honestly, they're fucked. And because Johnny Boychuk retired, the Islanders now have to go out and get a potential defenseman off the free agent market, either through PTO or by trade. Right. They have to do it. They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And with Matt Barzal, their offense is not even as close to being what they are now. I mean, I'll give them credit. I love the Islanders, but I mean, though they're my second team, they're not going to be as good without Matt Barzal. And the longer he stays out of the lineup, the worse it's going to get. And you have to keep in mind, too, the season is not very long. So the longer he drags this out, the less likely the Islanders could actually miss the playoffs. There's a very strong chance this could happen.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
This is the only reason I like this season coming up. It's kind of experimental and it's kind of odd. But for the Leafs, this is like the golden opportunity for the Leafs. Because the Leafs are always good at their first 40 to 50 games. That's where their peak is. Before the All-Star break, they're fucking fantastic.
There is no All-Star break. That's the problem.
I'm just saying. In an 82-year fucking game season, the Leafs are good till the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break, they miraculously fucking crash and start sucking dick. Well, that's what happens every year.
Usually
this season, they don't have that fucking reason to fucking have a slump. So I kind of feel like the Leafs are going to be a team to beat, man. I'm not saying it to be biased. I'm just saying it because they're good and they're young and they're speedy and they have the offense. Now they have better defense. Plus they still have Anderson for this year at least. And
plus they don't have Mike Babcock as a coach anymore either.
Well, exactly. And we have a new Leafs. If you looked at the last couple seasons, man, we're among the long league leaders and goals for in a game, and there's so many stats that people don't look at that the Leafs are so good at. Yeah, our penalty kills that good at points. Yeah, because we didn't have a defense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have the best defense, but we still have pieces we need to put in place to make up for it. But I'm sure after the offseason, we've made up for it in a couple places. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the Leafs are going to be a force to reckon with. And I'm not saying to be biased. I'm just saying it because I feel like the Leafs have something, and Kyle Dubas has a reason to be like, you guys have to win something this year because I'm done if you don't fucking win. You don't do something.
Well, what do you think would happen if somehow the Leafs within the 7th division, because they're all Canadian, what if they, God forbid, miss the playoffs?
That would never happen. It's not going to happen.
You never know. I mean, look at the fucking Leafs this year. They barely beat Columbus. They got shut out, and that was supposed to be the one-way ticket into the playoffs.
Dude, it's not even a question. We're playing the Canadian teams. Back to your question, what you were asking.
Right.
Okay, there's nothing to do with Columbus. You're talking about the Canadian division with all the Canadian teams, right?
Yeah, but most of the Canadian.
I have no doubt in my mind that Toronto will be either first or second this year.
Well, I mean, like I said, the Canadian division is going to get stronger. I mean, you have Vancouver, who almost beat the Golden Knights in the second round last year. You have Toronto. You have Ottawa on the rise. Calgary's kind of in the middle. But I would say if there's another team that could compete with Toronto, it's going to be Montreal. Because, honestly, the Canadians are not terrible at all. I mean, maybe this past year they were god-awful. But in terms of depth and in terms of the offense, the Canadians are not that far behind. I mean, it's not Toronto Maple Leafs, sure, but the Canadians have the better goaltending. They have the better defense.
I welcome it, man. I welcome back the fucking Canadians and fucking Toronto rivalry. I literally do.
That's a good rivalry. Yeah,
It's been too many years. It's literally like vanquished. And yeah, I'd welcome that fucking robbery again.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yep. So
Definitely.
Trainer actually jumped in on the chat again, and he ended up basically saying he'll come on one day. Well, okay, here, let's make a deal, Trainer. Come on in 2 weeks. All right, let's do it. And then he also said he thinks the top 4 in the Canadian division in order. He says it'll be the Oilers, Canucks, Leafs, and Canadians. Then he also Then he also says the top 4 in the East will be the Bruins, Capitals, Flyers, and either the Islanders or Penguins.
Well, you have to also remember there's also a mixed bag of teams in every other division. I mean, you have a straight Eastern division and you have a straight Canadian division, and then you have a mix of Eastern and Western teams, and then they're all just kind of mishmash. So no, we don't. There's no real Eastern Western conference
especially with all the realignment this year.
So, yeah, but this is just for temporary. But I would say if the NHL is going to be
John Goodman's on crack. If you think Edmonton's going to win this division, John Goodman, you're literally high on crack.
I would say the only reason
put the Leafs at 3rd. Are you fucking high?
I mean, I would say the only way the Oilers actually win that goddamn division is if Toronto is dealing with a load of injuries, and if Matthews doesn't live, or any of the guys.
Oh my God! Don't you jinx us already. Shut your dirty fucking whore mouth.
Yeah. Speaking of Toronto, and I'm talking about the Blue Jays at this point. According to Disha Dosar of the New York Daily newspaper, it's being reported that it's down to 2 teams: the New York Mets and the Toronto Blue Jays. They are the final clubs competing to land outfielder George Springer. And Dosar also added that the deal in place is likely to be a 5-6 year deal worth over $100 million.
Dude, I'm telling you now, and I told you again, it's going to be the Jays all day.
I'm telling you, it's going to be the Big Apple. I mean, it's a bigger baseball market than Toronto is.
Right. But look at San Diego, what they've been doing on the West Coast. I mean, look at the Darvish trade.
The Darvish trade, Blake Snell. The Padres are a completely different team at this point. And I think now that
it doesn't matter. You act like everything in your mind, it comes down to, it's all about the American dollar. It doesn't matter. The Toronto sports market is fucking huge, man. Whatever team you fucking pick, the Raptors, the Jays, the Maple Leafs, they're 3 huge markets. Doesn't matter with the Canadian dollar when a team is rich as fuck.
I never said anything about the Canadian dollar. That has nothing to do with it.
I'm saying every time you talk about a big player, just like every other time you talk about the Canadian player, you're just like, it's all about the dollar. It's all about the dollar and how the player. No, it has nothing to do with that.
Well, if you're rich as shit, it has nothing to do with the taxes. But if you're an average Joe like you and I, and if I wanted to move up north to Canada, I would have to pay double of my taxes. Unless you move to the United States, like in a state like Florida, where there's no income taxes.
Dude, that has nothing to do with anything I said. I'm just saying you can't. If a player wants to sign for $150 million, that's a big commitment to a team. But not like a team like the Jays. The Jays have the money to fucking spend.
But do the Jays need an outfielder? Because I certainly know the Mets do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so we're both in the shatter here. Both teams need an outfielder, and whatever team George Springer signs, then he goes to that team. If he goes to the Jays, I'll text you next time and I'll say congratulations, you got George Springer. And then the Mets can go out and get someone else. And then if the Mets get George Springer, I'm going to be like, okay, congratulations to the Mets. They get their first big name player on the free agent market this year. And I'm telling you, a lot of people would not pass up on playing New York. A lot of people would either go to the Yankees or the Red Sox. For the Mets, because of the new ownership with Stephen Cohen, and he makes more income than the Yankees themselves. This guy makes $14 billion a year. And you're going to bring in George Springer to play for the New York Mets. That changes everything within this region for New York, specifically in baseball, because it's always been dominated by the Yankees for the last 25 years. That's all I'm saying.
True story.
Yep.
So let's see. So I mean, we pretty much, I think we really covered a lot tonight because we're actually almost at hour number 3 on the show. So I was gonna say we actually went about 2 hours and 42 minutes so far. So I was gonna say so we'll kind of end it out on a fun note unless we have any other sports news we want to talk about. But plans for New Year's, what are you guys up to?
I'm probably going to stay home, drink, and then New Year's Day.
Yeah, I can't can't do shit much here in Canada because we're on fucking total like communist lockdown. So, you know, not much you can do. There's no bars open. You can't really do shit.
Right. Yeah, even around here, I mean, just gonna probably relax at home and just enjoy it. Probably drink a couple beers, and good thing is Des came home. She's doing a lot better, so that's good after her little brief stay in the hospital. But she's doing good, so that part's nice. I'm off of work the rest of the week, so I'm enjoying that, and then really from there, it'll be good to go. Monday, I'll be back to the grind. So. That's what I'm looking at.
Same here. Same here, man.
Well, I'm going to be off an entire week. I go back to work Saturday, and then I'm off the entire calendar week.
Nice.
Because you're a little bitch.
I know.
So, yeah, I was going to say, with that being said, I mean, we definitely ran a longer show tonight, but it was a good one, though. We needed to do that. And, for everyone that's been watching us, we're at episode 21 now. So, hey, our show's finally legal.
Hooray!
Yeah. But honestly, I mean, everyone has been watching for time we've been back. I mean, we truly enjoy it. We wanted to come back. We enjoy doing what we're doing, and it's been, I think, a little over 6 months since we relaunched the page. So we've tweaked some stuff here and there, but it's definitely fun to be doing this with you guys again. I definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Even when we get a fully stoned Luffy in here, it makes the show that much more fun.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't that stoned tonight, so we're on like a mediocre level tonight. So.
Of course it is.
It's all good. Well, I will definitely say this. For everyone following us, definitely keep on the page over the next few days. We'll probably have some more hockey news come out, and especially if the Bills actually do sign Kenny Stills, that'll really be sweet to see, and we'll probably cover some stuff with that. So, of course, keep it here, and then of course for Bobby, Adam, myself, thanks for joining us in 2020. Next time we're on is 2021, unless something else comes up between now and then. But thanks for joining the show, and take care of yourselves and each other. We'll roll the credits.
Yep.